when I hit go live. So, as usually happens. Okay, quick recap. Sorry, people. Go live. I hit live, it didn't go live. Mouse issue, I suspect. Right, we're assaulting the Castle of Terror, the domain of Duke Darien. And our guys are currently trekking up a mountain, having made their way through foothills and out of the valleys. And it's pissing it down with rain to the point that the gully that they're moving forward through is turning rapidly into a river. Sorry, right. So what were you going to do?
So Zorro's getting off his horse and going to walk cautiously, guiding his horse up.
Okay, so you take a firm hold of the reins and sort of holding your cloak up against the worst of the rain. Yeah, you pick your way up. What are you other two doing?
I'm going to dismount and consider our options. I do have survival skills. I mean, it's either carry on or turn back, isn't it? Really, I think.
Yeah, neither of those is a necessarily any better option than the other, except the one gets you closer to your destination.
A little bit of the brain never hurt anyone.
Tell that to Noah.
We dismount and trudge on.
Okay. Yeah.
And by Darth, by the way.
Are you going to dismount as well?
Yeah.
Okay. It's pretty miserable wading through this mud, and there are little rock falls every now and again, just enough to keep you on your toes. You know, not a full-on avalanche or anything, but the rain seems to be knocking some of it loose. The rain gets harder and colder, and gradually turns to sleet, which kind of sticks to your outer robe and turns sludgy. It also thickens the water around your feet, so it's even more hard going without lifting your feet up really high. So you're kind of having to high step. Sorry, what did you say?
Do you have a rough idea how many feet up we actually are?
Not actually that high, but the weather is as though you were up in the really high mountains from your home.
Seems unusual, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello. Didn't see you come in.
Hello. Oh, you didn't see me come in?
No. Come in like a ninja.
Ninja. A ninja that says hello in the chat box.
Okay, so you weren't
I did the same.
You weren't staying behind researching. You came with the others. Okay.
Yep. Sorry, I had a detail to take care of first.
It's all good. So sorry. What was anyone else doing anything different as this turns to sleet and starts to turn the mud into sludge?
Nope.
Okay, so you stay dismounted and you're kind of following the gorge and the road as best you can. You don't even really need to see because it just goes one way through the pass and slowly up and up and up into the mountain. The rain is even harder. It's lashing at you, mixed with this sleet, monotonous, pummeling you, making your clothes heavy and wet and turning the road into a muddy, rock-scattered ruin. You think this can't last any longer, and it can't get any worse, but there is a huge crack and a rumble of distant thunder, and the rain stops momentarily, only to be replaced by snow, which starts to come down thick.
You're kidding me, right?
No.
This is not...
Grim we're talking about.
This is unnatural.
So I didn't know anything about this.
What was that?
Sarazen, do you know anything about this?
It is probably part of the cursed land.
I've lived my whole life in the mountains, and this has never happened to me before.
No, this is very unnatural. This is some sort of a magic behind it.
Normally you'd be happy to see the snow, but not here.
Not that
Not
quickly.
this, no.
The wind rises higher and higher and seems to be coming straight down this stone gorge and hitting you all the harder because it has to make its way through such a narrow space. So it's blasting the snow at you to the point where it's not settling on the ground, but it is settling on your face, your body, the front of your legs, the front of your horses, anything sort of facing into the wind.
does it look like it's actually directed in our
You have
so-called in our surroundings?
You have
So someone's doing some sort of like.
you have no real way to know, but given your general paranoia, you probably think so.
Yeah, it's not
Whoa.
like we see 100 feet over and it's like sunny skies over there.
Well, you don't know because you can't see over there because there's bloody great rocks in the way. Yeah. So yeah, you can barely see. The snow is so thick that it's blotting out what little sun there was with all the clouds. There's another huge crack of lightning across the sky, like a tangle of snakes, like right across the sky over the top of you. And in that brief moment of light, you see two black horses with two men in black armor upon them, riding down towards you through the muck.
Okay, I'll stand my ground.
Okay, just one sec.
On the horses.
Oh, get behind me.
Okay, I'll let Becca take lead.
They're on horses, right?
They are.
I'm going to climb onto my horse then.
Okay.
Is the actual pathway big enough for me to actually let them to take lead, Jim?
There's room enough on the path for two horses side by side, or a carriage, or a wagon.
Well, Becca's on foot and Jackson on horse, so I'll let them two.
Okay, well,
As they're leading, I'll cock my crossbow.
okay. So Elaine mounts his horse. Becca, you mounting your elk?
Well, it's not really good weather for or terrain for fighting in a sad blizzard. It's,
not hugely.
They're on
So you want to
horses.
stay on foot, yeah?
yeah.
Okay. Right. Any other sort of immediate reactions the moment these things are seen? So Caradon just sort of waiting to see what happens?
Waiting to see what happens.
Okay, so...
I'm in the back, right?
Yeah. As is typical of a mage. Where you can do the most damage to your own party with a fireball. That's the place to be. Right, Elaine, they're riding down towards you. Swords in one hand, shields held in the other, and holding their reins in the same hand as the shield. So they can't particularly protect themselves that well, but at least they have them.
What, are they charging?
They are charging down towards you.
Yeah, they mean to fight. I'll sort of grab my rein and see if I can. What's the word?
Countercharge?
Yeah.
I cast Tanglefoot on the second horse.
When it's your go. Right, so Elaine charges forwards to meet them. Right, on the treacherous terrain, can you roll a d20 under your reflexes, please, Jack?
Maybe. Could somebody roll a?
I can roll it for you. Your reflex is 16, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Your horse doesn't unseat you. Right, so you go hurtling up towards them, and because they're charging towards you and you're charging towards them, you meet each other and clash. What do you want to do? Just attack with your sword, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of hit.
The left one, as is tradition.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you got access to your character sheet there or not?
No.
Okay, I will sort it out for you then. Right.
Unfortunately, because I'm on my phone.
Yeah. Because your computer went kablooey, didn't it?
Oh no, you lost a computer?
Yeah, my computer broke yesterday. So,
Oh.
and I've ordered some bits and pieces to fix it, but until they arrive, it's got. But yeah, I either have my sheet open or Hangouts open. I can't have both. If I Hangouts, I have a sinking suspicion it's just going to log me out of Hangouts.
Probably. Yeah. Best be safe.
Yeah, it works better with the Zoom. Zoom is easier to do.
wouldn't do me any good though, because
Okay. Oh, just as well I was rolling for you. All right, so you charge up, moving your horse over to the side, left-hand side, and sort of almost up onto the rocks. Sort of thundering hooves sending up fragments of stone. As you move on past the knight on that side and cleave over with your sword. He tries to get his shield in the way. You sort of glance off the shield slightly, angle upwards, and come right up under his chin and lop his head clean off his shoulders.
oh,
Well, so much for needing to separate the two. He did it for him.
Yeah. You got a crit and almost maximum damage, so there you go. Right, Caesura.
Do they have any coat of arms on their shield?
They do. It's like almost a stag beetle, but not quite. It's the emblem of Duke Darien.
Right. Has our mage friend tangled the one?
No,
Is it the one on the right?
Hasn't had his go yet.
Right. I will aim and shoot at the one who has not been beheaded. His horse.
Okay. His defense is 8, so roll that shit.
Do you want me to take that 8 off my attack?
Yes.
Right, so I have to get basically 9 or under.
Go for it.
Fingers crossed, nice. 5
Okay.
on the horse.
Now, the first die number is the armor bypass, so roll that.
Crossbow is D10
Okay.
plus 1. First D10 is a 7,
Okay, and then damage.
and that is a 7 again.
Okay.
All the 7s.
Oh, the horses have barding, huh?
Wait, wasn't aiming for the horse.
What an 8 armor. What is that? Plate mail?
No, plate mail's 5. Yeah. Okay, so you fire your crossbow. He brings up his shield at the last second, and the bolt just thanks into the shield and stays there.
Okay, no problem.
Right, Becca's go.
Right, I'm ready on foot, so I've got my claymore ready.
Yep.
I'm going to stand my ground. I was expecting them to follow through with their charge, but
Well, one of them's still coming.
yeah. So I'll receive him on foot.
Okay.
I'm going to aim for the horse.
Aim for the horse. Okay. Horse stats. Regular horse stats.
Yeah, because I'm not chivalric.
that's how you're supposed to do it. If you're fighting someone on horseback, you go for the horse.
Yeah. Fuck it. We'll make do with mule stats. Close enough. Right. Take 3 away from your attack.
4. That's a hit.
Okay. It doesn't have any armor, so roll damage.
Ouch. 12 hits. It's nearly maximum damage.
Okay. Right. So he comes hurtling down on his horse.
So I'm up in the guard of the horse because the horse comes in. But last minute I'll switch and go for the horse's legs, front leg.
Okay, so yeah, the last minute you bring your sword down and you sort of sidestep and cleave all 4 legs out from under the horse. It continues on a short distance and then lands on its stumps, unseats its rider, and slides to a whinnying, terrified halt against a boulder.
Oh dear! No horses were harmed in the making of this video.
Yeah, we'll have Pater onto us over mistreatment of fictional animals now.
How dare you?
Oh.
I mean, picking their legs off one at a time. I mean, really?
No, all 4 at the same time.
No, as they progressed, they were one at a time.
Right, the knight tumbles and falls and slides to a halt. But he's down. He's on the ground. He can't defend himself. Right, his turn. He grunts and picks himself up. Kerridan.
Bully. Oh, is that his whole turn?
Yep.
All right. So
You were stunned, yeah.
all right, I'm near this guy, so using the +2 longsword, I will attempt to hit him.
Okay,
Go
he's
and find
still
my-
stunned and used his action to get up, so just roll under your attack.
All right, let me see. That'll be a 13. That's a 7. Yes.
That's a hit. Okay, roll to bypass armor.
Yeah.
It's
what
the
was that?
first die
think
number.
Yeah, I think that's a D8. Let me go find that real quick.
That sounds about right for a sword. But I think you've got +3 on it as well.
+2. +2.
Mhm.
Wait a second. It's right here. Yeah, it's D8 +2. Yeah. Just wanted to verify that. That's a D8. Oh, 10. Ha 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 ha.
Okay, so that's definitely through his armor, and then damage.
7 +2 is 9.
Okay, so yeah,
Wow,
he's
that
sort of
was amazing.
stunned and groggy and staggers up to his feet, sort of redoubling his grip on his shield and sword, and then you just sort of slip in, and the magic blade finds its own way between the plates of his armor and stabs him clean through. You pull the sword out with a scrape of steel on plate, and he just slumps into the rain, with a few bubbles rising to the surface that soon stop.
Having a bad day.
He was having a bad before he came
I
up.
don't-
Pull
I
the
should
helmet off.
administer a coup de grace on the wounded horse.
Okay, yeah, it's trying to thrash around, but it can't really, so yeah, you drive your claymore through its brain pan and put it out of its misery.
Pull the helmet off the guy and see if there's anything weird about this or untoward about this guy.
He has very short, dark, bristly hair, but thin. It's like spaced out on top of his head and mutton chops. He has a pig-like snout, and broken tusk-like teeth sticking out from his lower jaw.
Good God! I thought he's not wearing a bassinet. He is actually a pig.
Yeah.
Well then, this is an aberration.
Where the flesh meets the body, it's like the pig head is kind of melting into the human flesh, like it's a blend of the two or one superimposed upon the other.
Yeah, that's kind of gross. Let's go see if the other one's exactly the same.
Can you find his head?
Get it?
It's
Go
back
over the...
yonder. It's back yonder.
Yeah, well, you find his body and then sort of follow the trail and find his head where it's sort of floated down and then wedged up a couple of stones. Though the water's starting to thicken a lot more and starting to freeze. So, yeah, there's that. When you wrestle his head free of the helmet via the stump, he does indeed look exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same, you know. Pigs are all individuals. They all have their own charm. Yeah,
What a racist! All pigs look alike.
yeah, we wouldn't want to say all pigs are the same. Yeah, if push comes to shove, you think this is the more handsome pig.
Well, he's headless.
There's no snout about it.
There's no snot about it.
You know, marry, fuck, kill. You'd marry the limbless horse. You'd fuck the neck stump of the decapitated pig.
Okay,
Oh,
that was.
and you'd marry the last one.
Oh.
If
Quit
pushed.
while you're ahead. Quit while you're ahead.
Quit while you're ahead, yes. Right. But yes, so much for the opposition.
Check out their pouches and see if there's anything that they were carrying with them.
There's some sort of cakes of what you take to be food, but it smells rotten and there's all kinds of crap in it. You think there's
Scraps.
apple cores, toenails, so plant clippings, but yeah, rotting meat, a bit of everything really. But it's been hard pressed into these sort of lumpy cakes.
Pig
Oh,
food.
God. Scraps.
Scraps
Oh.
for the trough. Yes.
Yep.
All right,
They've also got dry food. Dried food. Sorry, not dry food.
There's definitely foul magic about, guys. So let's make haste up this road.
Oh, and they
Well,
have.
what colour was this? What colour was the skin, Jim?
Where it was more piggish, it was more of a sort of ruddy brownish color, and the rest of their bodies were pretty pale, like normal people.
Pig people.
Yeah.
Oh, boring.
So, have we ever seen anything like this before?
You did. Did you fight any of the Black Knights before? I don't think you did. Did you?
No, I didn't.
No.
No.
There are people in the Howling Wastes who enter into pacts with spirits and can take on beast forms and things, but a lot of that is purely psychological. That's all you really know of it. There are all kinds of weird, debased alchemical experiments that go on. They could be the result of that, or possession, or who knows, some kind of corruption. The fairy folk occasionally leave changelings, which can be part animal, part man, mostly because fairies can't tell the difference.
They're racist.
Yeah.
Men, women, you all look alike.
If it was werefolk, that werefolk don't put on harness and ride horses, do they? That's,
No, and they're usually one form or the other, not
half and half.
not in between like this.
and same for Bjornings, or what would we call them here? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Berserkers are just barbarians of high level, so. But there are shaman and people who take on beast aspects in the tribes where you're from. That's the closest thing this reminds you of. But this seems like a corrupted and debased way to do it. They haven't taken on the noble or the admirable traits of the pig. They've just taken on its strength and stubbornness and brutality from the look of it.
That's weird.
But they're in good quality kit. They're in mail, sword and shields, and on war horses, were they?
Yeah. Pretty good mail. Stained black, with metal breastplate and helmet, and gauntlets, and shin guards. The horse was it's not a war horse, but it's reasonably good quality horse. Saddles, workmanlike but serviceable. You've got more rarefied tastes now that you're filthy rich, but back in the days of the Crusade, you'd be happy to have gear like this.
Well,
To die for.
this is alarming that his minions are so well equipped.
Well, he is a lord, right? Means he's got
Yeah.
money.
He's a duke.
I am not surprised that they are so well equipped.
I would say it's more alarming. They're human half-pig hybrids, but whatever suits you.
You know that armor could do you well. Is it better than what you have on right now?
No,
No.
to me.
It's not better than your armor, and it's not
No.
better than Elaine's armor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good. All things considered.
Yeah,
sort
not something I can wear because we determined that I can only go up to what I have.
What you'd expect from a sort of mid-ranking noble's retinue to have. Anyway, they're dispatched. The snow, the wind's died down a bit, but the snow is still coming down hard and really starting to pile up, and the mud is freezing over, which makes the going even more treacherous. You manage to wend your way on a bit further, but it's starting to become exhausting. But there doesn't seem to be any way out of this gully until you think you see a flickering light like a campfire just up ahead on the right-hand side of the gully.
Right, let's get some shelter, shall we?
Sounds like a plan.
But it's a campfire. Someone's going to be there. Someone's lit that fire. maybe you should check it out, Cesora.
No problem, boss.
Could have been
I'll-
these two that saw us coming.
I'll give my rein to whoever's behind me to hold up my horse, and I'll scoot up ahead stealthily.
Okay. What's your stealth?
23.
23. Okay. Roll and tell me what you get.
4.
Okay. So, yeah, you leave the reins with them. You can't really lose them because of the gully. It's going to guide you back to them, so you don't worry too much about that. But you scout on ahead as best you can. It's mind-numbingly slow to move, especially if you're sneaking in this weather.
Yeah.
And you have to sort of climb up the side of the gully slightly. But soon you find that there is actually a trail, a path, leading up the side here towards the light. It's barely there, and it's no wonder you almost missed it in the snow. But there is a path. And then you decide to stay off it because you want to stay sneaky. So you slowly climb up the side, get closer to the light of the fire. And what you find is a rocky overhang with a cave behind it, a small campfire, and there is a bald man in a white robe sat by the fire, occasionally feeding it with a couple of twigs or some dry heather.
Does he have his back turned towards me?
Yeah, you're kind of side on to him. You can't really get behind him without climbing up the mountain, and then you'd be on the overhang. So
Now I can do the sneaky or noisy. Instincts are taking the better of me. I'm going to backstab this son of a bitch, but basically hand over the mouth so he won't scream and skewer him.
Just kill him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do
So,
what?
okay.
Why are you doing that?
That's
Yep,
that's good.
you can't interrupt him. Right, so yeah, you creep around as best you can. Getting behind him is really tricky, unless you do want to go to the overhang. Do you want to do that?
how risky is it?
Death from above.
That's later.
Pretty risky. Make another stealth roll.
6.
Okay. All right, you creep up around on top of the overhang and creep to the edge of it, sort of almost right above him. Why don't you come down, he says, and warm yourself by the fire?
He doesn't speak words. It's sort of grunt, does he?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't even turn his head. He just calls that out.
Oh. I might actually got like one hand on the clip and he says
You haven't got that close to him. You got ready to jump, basically.
okay, I'll call the others to come up.
Okay, you barely hear his voice, but you do hear Cesora calling out to you to come up.
Let's move up.
Okay.
Move together.
Yeah. You move up together, find this trail, and follow it up. It sort of winds backwards and forwards. And you arrive outside this cave. There is this bald man in a white robe, sat by a small fire, and Cesora sat on top of the rock overhang.
Well met. Terrible weather.
Always is here. Close to the eye of the storm. Come, sit. Warm yourselves.
Thank you.
Move over to sit next to the fire.
Can I sit down? Yeah.
I'm afraid I have no food or water to offer.
I think we have some we can share, can't we?
I wouldn't presume to take anything from you. I ate but recently. At the Duke's table, no less.
Oh, you're in good with the Duke, are you?
I wouldn't say that exactly.
Oh, we are en route to the castle. What mood is the Duke in?
That would depend very much what business you have there, I suspect. For my part, I've travelled from Castle Erawan I went there to plead with the Duke, to show some mercy to the peasants. But the Duke's a hard man. Something's rotted him out from inside. He's more beast than man, I think, much like his men. Poor souls. My pleas for mercy were not heeded. We quarrelled a few hours. The quarrelling got worse as we got into our cups. And then he set the hounds on me for my trouble. And I found shelter here. So, as and when this storm eases up, I'll make my way the rest of the way home. But in the meantime, I can offer more hospitality than the Duke, I suspect.
Got,
I looked him over. Is he wounded?
Make a perception roll.
My perception's crap.
Well, what is your perception?
6.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
no,
actually, I have to roll for his stealth, not you. So,
stealth or perception?
I have to roll because he's hiding something. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a 7.
yeah.
Sorry.
You don't see any wounds on him.
Are you a priest? You're in robes.
Yes, well, sort of. I studied for the priesthood, but I decided a more ascetic experience was what suited me best. So I took to the wilderness to live as a hermit, occasionally returning to villages and towns to help people as I felt the need. Yeah, God directed me where I was needed. What about you? What are you all doing here on this horrendous mountain in this horrendous weather, seeking audience with such a horrendous man?
Well, I mean, we're on a similar humanitarian mission, aren't we? Yeah. To plead for clemency of the Duke.
For all the peasants? For a particular town?
Oh, yeah, for everyone, yes.
You'll forgive me, but with your fine garb and weapons, you don't strike me as peasants yourselves.
Well, certainly we're not. No, we are hailed as local heroes, champions of the people.
Ah, nice work if you can get it. Well, I don't think this is going to break until morning, but I'm fairly certain it will. And I generally have a good feel for these things. I'm going to retire into the cave. There's some dry bracken and heather in there. It makes a decent enough bed. I'll light a second fire inside, and you're welcome to join me and rest when you feel up to it.
Where I'm sitting, Jim, on top of this cave mouth entrance thing,
Yeah.
do I actually get a good view of what he's actually hiding?
You don't really have a chance to spot it, so no. Anyway, he picks himself up and retires into the cave. And before long, there's a new flame burning within it. And this outside fire is rapidly starting to die down in the wind and wet.
Yeah, I think the choice of my throat slit or dying of frostbite, I think I'm going to go in the cave as well and die warm.
Yeah. The fire isn't that warm. He's keeping it very small, like he's trying to keep it hidden or something. But yeah. Okay. He's already asleep, or seems to be asleep at least. On this pile of heather and bracken. There are other heaps in here. Looks like animals have been nesting here at some point, so you might get fleas, but what the hell? It's relatively warm, relatively safe. It'll do. Are you organising a standing watch, or are you just going to rest?
I'll take first watch.
It would be crazy not to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a watch, yeah.
Okay. So Cesora takes first watch, and the rest of you drift off. Cesora finds himself overcome with irresistible tide of sleep, and ends up also falling asleep.
Bloody magic. Bloody magic.
When the morning comes around, the fire's out, and in fact there is no fire there. No campfire, no sign that anyone's had a fire there in a very long time, though there's very, very old remnants of wood ash and so on. Where the hermit was sleeping, there is a skeleton laying next to a chest, or a small sort of coffer casket type thing.
I think we saw an echo. I do not think the man was there last night.
Like a spirit walker.
Yeah. Something of an old, sort of like the people who have been dead and buried. Another curse of something that was killed by the Duke.
A restless spirit to warn us.
Perhaps.
An omen.
Open that chest and see what he has.
I'm not a fucking thief. I'm a fucking merchant.
You were going to slit your throat earlier.
No, I was going to slit his fucking throat earlier, yeah.
Yes.
I'll walk up to the chest, Jim.
Yep.
How big's the chest?
It's about 1.5 foot across. It's got sort of circles of chains on either side. Looks like it's designed to be carried on the back. And it has a fairly intricate little lock.
I'll check the skeleton to see if there's any keys.
Okay, you rifle through the skeleton, and you find a wooden cross on a little brown rope. The rope's kind of rotted away a bit. And a small key ring with a single brass key on it.
Does it look like it might connect?
It does look the right size.
Okay, check for any traps first, just to be on the safe side.
Okay, what's your perception?
Deception... 11.
11. You don't find any indication of any traps.
Right. Put the key into the lock. Fingers crossed.
And you turn it, and it clicks.
Click as in open or click as in trap?
Click as in opens.
Okay, I'll prise open.
Okay, nestled in a sort of nest of straw are 4 little tubes made of some kind of hollowed out reed and capped with beeswax at either end.
Any writing on them?
No.
Okay. We'll take the tubes out carefully.
There's a very wholesome sort of smell coming off them, like lavender honey.
Well, I've got basics of alchemy for my... Because on my updated catch sheet, I remember seeing that I had like...
Yeah.
on this one, I don't have it. But basically, does it actually smell familiar?
Caradon would be the one to check, really.
Let me take a look at that and see.
Okay. I'll pass him one of the... I'm not going to chuck it. I'll walk up to him.
No, I'm going to walk over.
All right. Fair dues.
One sec.
Oh, she must have gone up a level.
Hey, you got the alchemy on your character sheet, so I don't know why you can't see it. I think something's caching on your machine. You're seeing the older version, but never mind.
Yeah, I'm using my smartphone for this.
Okay.
I'm chatting.
All right, so Caradon comes over, picks one of these things up. You sort of prick a hole in one of the wax caps with a needle, and take a stronger sniff, and get a drip of it out. It smells like a cruder, more rudimentary herbal version of the distillates used in a health potion.
Like it's the raw material for a health potion?
No, you think it's been processed, but not in a full alchemical lab. It's been done on a sort of more rustic ad hoc basis.
Oh, so it'll function the same then.
It should do, yeah.
All right, then I pass on that information. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give one to each of us, Jim.
Yep, that makes sense. How very communist of you.
As I said, I'm a mercenary, not a fucking...
It's quite a nice coffer as well, and it's very portable.
I'll put it on the back of my horse.
Probably want to keep them in the little tubes if they're dangerous, if they're breakable. Are they breakable?
They're not that fragile.
Oh, okay.
They've dried out a bit, the reeds that make up the tubes, but they should be okay. You think he had them locked up more for security than worry about breaking them?
Yeah, I'll take the cross as well, Jim.
Okay. Once you've emptied it out, in the bottom of that little chest is inscribed the motto of the hospital knights.
That'd be the knights we saw on the boat a while back, was it be?
No, they're more like the Templars, so a different knightly order.
Yeah, hospital.
Yeah.
The Knights of St. John, basically.
Essentially, with their equivalent.
Yeah, okie doke.
Okay.
I'll show you on the back of my horse.
But much as the spirit said, the weather seems to have eased this morning. It's still cold and wind blasted, but the ground is somewhat solid again, and you can continue to make progress.
I still can't believe I can't see my full character sheet. That's weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah, 'cause I saw it briefly. I saw it briefly the other day there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not on tonight.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Right. Jack, are you still with us? Because you've been very uncharacteristically quiet.
I'm here.
Okay.
I just can't sort of like speak very often because obviously the whole get up. I've got a moment.
I just wanted to check that it was all okay and everything. Right. Eventually, the gorge levels out, and you find yourself at the top of one of these shorter mountains. And then there's a chasm and a rise of another slightly taller mountain with the castle sort of perching on top of it almost. So, from sunup, it's taken you about 6 hours, so it's about lunchtime. And or second breakfast. So after 6 hours of travel, you find yourself amongst the towering peaks of the pagan mountains. The road winds up and up through more narrow passes and by the side of steep cliffs until you arrive at this chasm, seeing the bleak castle atop a black crag in the middle distance. A track leads to it, wide enough for a carriage, passing over an extremely narrow, like just wide enough, arched stone bridge and up a steep incline. A gate stands in the crenellated wall facing you. There are 4 towers rising from the castle, one at each corner. The 2 immediately in front are only slightly taller than the surrounding walls and are crenellated at the top. The tower in the northwest corner is slim and minaret-like with a conical peak. The tower in the northeast corner also has a peak at its top, with attic windows set into it. There's a large iron-bonded double gate set into the curtain wall immediately in front of you. The landscape is covered with a thick layer of snow from last night, in which you can see the marks of carriage wheels and hoof prints leading back and forth across the bridge. The bridge is set at its entry and exit with 2 large stone dogs standing guard.
No, not more stone dogs.
Stone guardians. I hate these. I've become sick of seeing them.
Don't cut its hand off. You should be fine. Well, with any luck, the sword that you picked up from that tower should make short work of it.
Yes.
Shall we knock on the door?
Got to cross the bridge first.
Yeah, true. There's probably no way to avoid going across it. So,
yeah, there's a big chasm, and it probably like a moat around the whole place, right?
No moat, just the chasm and the walls.
Perhaps we should dismount and cross the threshold.
Sorry,
What was that?
Lost you there.
Perhaps we should dismount from here.
Shall we tie them up out here? Walk on foot.
Indeed.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. So you lash the horses to a couple of tree stumps.
Yep.
Who's going to take the lead? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You march forward out onto the bridge. What's your evasion?
My evasion is.
Hang on, I should have thought to look it up for you because you've got trouble swapping back and around, don't you?
Actually, I just found out I can actually look at my sheet and roll dice, but closes the camera.
All right. Your evasion is 7. So.
It's okay. We don't need to look at your face.
All right. You take a step out onto the bridge. The moment your foot touches the bridge seems to evaporate and whirl away into the fog, and you almost pitch face first into the chasm, but manage to sort of wheel your arms comedically and throw yourself back. Where the bridge was, there's now just this roiling mist slowly reforming into the shape of a bridge, and about 3 meters to the right of it, there's a shimmer in the air and another bridge appears. Maybe that's the real one.
Of all the things I expected, that was the least likely.
I suggest we take a pole or something to tap on the ground to check our path.
You've
Are
got
there
the talking.
tracks in the snow?
Yeah, I've got a staff. Yes. Tap, 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 tap.
Yeah, this one seems to be real. It has tracks on it. You can tap it with a stick. Everything. All you could want from a bridge.
What's our priestess saying? Priestess
What a
friend saying to all this?
What a bad joke. Welcome to my castle. Ah! Instant death.
Is our priestess girlfriend saying anything, Jim?
I said no door-to-door preachers.
Not today. Not today.
All right, so we make our way using the real bridge.
Okay, what's your marching order? Elaine still in front?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Then Caesura, then Kerridan, then Baker? Becca?
Sounds good.
Sounds about right.
Kill them all.
All right. So, dramatic camera angle shift to get all your silhouettes moving across the bridge. One after the other.
But it disappears. Ah!
Right. With horrendous predictability, you get about halfway across the bridge. And the 4 dog statues animate. Or at least illusions lift from them, and it becomes obvious that they are actually hulking great watchdogs with flames pouring out of their eyes and mouths.
Not
What the
again.
And
no.
and they start to bound in from each direction.
What a horrible hospitality.
Well, he wasn't expecting priests. He doesn't
You are
expect
uninvited. Right, Elaine.
Yes.
Right, so you've got 2 Girt Great Hellhounds charging in from in front of you, and 2 Girt Great Hellhounds charging in from behind you. And you're in the middle of the bridge.
Wait, no one else went on the bridge with me?
No, everyone else came on as well. You're all in the middle.
Y'all left me by myself.
Hellhounds to the right, Jokers to the left. Here I go.
Something like this with multiple things charging in. I think I'll raise my shield and sort of like wait for it to charge into me.
Okay. So so none of them can get past you, sort of protecting the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sort of set to and take up a defensive stance. Right, Caesora.
Oh, since Jack is hogging the bridge, is it a one person? Is it single file or is it?
It's wide enough for a carriage, so there is room for you to stand side by side.
Okay, I will shots. Draw my short sword of Arda and me goblin short sword of +1, and basically get ready to stab with one and parry with the other.
Okay, so you stand ready to defend against
Yep.
the hellhounds as they bound up.
Yep.
Becca, you're at the rear. You've got 2 hellhounds coming up behind you.
Yeah, I'm going to rush to meet one and cover drive, knock it clean off the bridge.
Okay, try to hoon it off the bridge. Okay, so let's be straightforward attack to start with. Its defense is 6.
11. Yeah, that's a hit.
Yep. Roll d20 and tell me how much under your strength it is.
Ooh. I rolled a 10. Strength is 15.
So
5.
5 under. Okay, and it botches. So. Right, so yeah, you lift your sword, charge forward, and shoulder barge the first one, hooning it clean off the bridge into the chasm.
Yay!
Yeah, it falls to its doom, making TIE fighter noises.
Nice.
Oh,
Get in.
God. Oh,
Right, so that's one taken care of. And right, the 2 at the front leap to the attack at both Caesora and Elaine, who are both standing there defensively. What's Elaine's defense? It's shouldn't be asking because I know. 13.
16. 16.
16 with the sword, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you just bat it back with your shield. It doesn't get anywhere close to you. Caesora's defense?
9.
Is that with the bonus?
10.
So that's the plus for the most magical sword, yeah?
Yeah, the both magical swords. One's a D8 +2, and the other one's
Yeah,
+1.
you only get the highest bonus to your defense and attack.
+2.
Okay, so you got 9, so that would take you to 11.
11.
And then you got +2 defense because you're using it in your offhand to defend yourself, aren't you? So that's 13.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, you ward it off with the blade. It sort of crouches, looking for a chance to spring, but you don't give it one. Meanwhile, in the back, the single remaining hellhound leaps for Becca. What's Becca's defense?
14.
14. Okay. Yeah, you just body checked its buddy. So you sort of bring your claymore down and sort of bat it away with the handle of it, and it doesn't manage to land a blow. Keradin.
Okay, I will swing my +2 sword at that remaining one in the back near me.
Okay, so while Becca's got it occupied, yeah, just roll under your attack.
I rolled a 2.
Nice.
Ooh. And then I roll this is automatically a 10 against armor defense.
Well, it wasn't a crit, so and it's not got any armor worth speaking of though, so don't worry about it.
Then I take that 8 and I get 10 damage. I'll roll it again if you want me to. You want me to
roll again.
I auto rolled it with my 20, so 4 + 2, 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. Right. You land a good blow with the sword into its flank, and it bleeds, sort of dripping fire instead of blood. Right, new turn. Elaine.
Bet it's immune to fire.
So you've got one battling against your shield, trying to get past it to get you.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of with my shield up, sort of like try and swing my sword around and cut into it.
Stab around and over. Okay. It hasn't defended itself yet this turn, so defense 6 away from your attack means 15 or under with your bonus.
Ow.
Oh, yes, I hit.
Yep. Okay, roll damage.
For a second, I thought we were going. I forgot it was like roll under because I got 14. And I was like, oh no! And I was like, oh wait, yeah, works. Roll damage. Roll damage. Damage is D8. So
+3.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so 4 damage. Okay. Stabbing around your shield turned out not to have been such a great plan because you just can't get enough leverage to get a good blow on it. But you do stick it a couple of times. Suzora.
Let me guess, there's only one now beside me and Jack, yeah?
No, there's 2 still in front of you. But there's 1 on each of you.
Alright, okay. Do what I did before.
Okay.
Same posture.
Okay. So you're keeping the other dagger for defense, but you're attacking with one sword. Okay.
Yeah.
Its defense is 6. So.
Under 11, yep.
Okay.
I got a 2.
Okay. No armor bypass needed, so just roll damage.
First one I got.
You only need to roll the second dice.
Okay, that is
How much?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so you keep it back with one sword and then draw back as if you're going to retreat, and as it comes forward to try and exploit that and get a bite in on you, stab in at the side and cut it just behind one of its paws into its chest. It's still up, but pretty wounded. Right, Becca's go.
Okay, I should try and finish off the remaining. What were the dog at the back here?
Yep.
I'll try and slice that in, cleft it in twain.
Twain is a good word for clefting.
Oh, it's an 18. Cool, so what's his defence?
Hang on. Its defense is 6.
Oh, it's a miss. Oh dear.
Okay, so you swing out, but you're still a bit off balance from smacking the other one off the bridge. So the swing of your blade helps you pull yourself back onto balance, but doesn't land effectively. Right, the 2 at the front don't manage to land any effective blows. The 1 at the back sort of runs inside the arc of your sword and leaps at Caradon. What's Caradon's defense?
Karen's defense. Oh, was a 3 now, I believe, with that leather.
No, defense, not armor.
Oh, sorry. Oh, stupid thing. Go faster. Whoa. This thing is so slow. There we go. I was on a different page. Defense. Oh, sorry. 6.
6. Okay. You swing your sword wildly at it, and it does seem to stop it being able to attack you, even though you're not entirely sure what you're doing with the sword. But you do know which end's the pointy end. But it seems to be enough to keep it off you. And it's your go.
All right, so I will return fire. Roll my 20 here.
It's got no defense.
Okay. So I roll 11 out of 13.
Okay, so that's a hit.
All right.
And just roll damage the second die.
Okay. 3 damage this time. Minimal damage. As you said, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Death of 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's slowing down. It's breathing its flames heavier. It's definitely starting to feel the pain from all the magic sword cuts. Right, new turn. Elaine.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna, seeing as I can't sort of like get my shield or sword around my shields, and it's sort of like on top of my shields, trying to claw around and try and get me. I'm gonna like slam my shield into it to, force it onto the ground, and then try and swing my sword into its head.
Okay. Attack roll at -6.
A 3, so I
That's
hit.
a hit. And damage.
7 damage total.
Right. So it's scrabbling at your shield. You sort of fall back slightly and flex your knees, so it's kind of on top of you, and then rapidly reverse and lift it up and slam it down. And as you draw your shield back and move to step back, you swing your sword down and cleave a deep cut all along its side. One more solid blow should finish it. Caesura.
Same as before, Jim.
Yep. Okay. So warding with one sword and looking for openings with the other. Attack roll at -6.
4.
Is that a hit?
Yep.
Okay. And just roll damage.
6.
Okay. Your one's looking similarly very weakened. They're bleeding this fire all over the bridge, though it rapidly goes out as it spills away from their bodies. But they're guardians. They're going to fight to the last. Becca's go.
Okay, so this is annoying now, this stone dog thing.
Yep.
We'll stop poking and slashing wildly in frustration.
Okay. Defense 6.
16. Oh, I think that is a hit.
Is that a
Just.
hit? You've got attack of 19 plus 3.
Yeah, plus
for
3,
magic
22.
sword, 22 minus 6, 16. So yeah, that's a hit.
Just.
Remarkably. Okay, roll damage.
I'm so impressed at 16 to hit. 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. So you sort of move forward after it, sort of jabbing with the pointed end of the sword. And then as its back paws sort of scrabble on the edge of the bridge, there's the opportunity for a proper swing. So you give it a proper swing, your blade cuts about halfway through it, lifts it up and throws it off the bridge. And it hurtles into the void.
That'll learn you.
That'll learn him good. Barbara Woodhouse would be pleased, nay chuffed, with your efforts. Right. Caradon, there's no more hellhounds at the back.
And there's no room to the front, right?
Not really, no. Some range spells would work. Shadow Bolt would work.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to waste a Shadow Bolt on a dog. They're doing well, right? Or are they not doing well?
They're doing well. They've nearly got them.
I'll wait.
Okay.
No use wasting spells, and I don't think fire would do very much against these fire creatures.
Yeah. No, they're holding them off well. It's just that it's taking them longer because they're not quite so full on as Becca is.
Yeah. Let's have a rest, Caradon. Yeah, just have a tea break. Yeah.
Would you like some of this tea? I make it from reindeer urine after they have eaten the special mushrooms. Elaine's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna skewer it.
Okay. So -6 from your attack and roll.
Yes, I hit. 6.
6 damage? Or was that 6 to hit?
6 to hit. I did 5 damage.
Okay. So with your shield still lifted out of the way, you follow up that hack as the hound tries to scrabble around to get back onto its feet by skewering it through the belly. It howls and then just kind of evaporates into fire. Caesura.
Same as before.
Second verse, same as the first.
Yep.
Roll to hit, -6.
3.
And damage?
7.
Okay. So yeah, you keep it warded off with the one dagger, and it's kind of concentrating on that, snarling and snapping at it. It actually gets hold of that dagger, but that gives you the opening that you need. You sort of partially lift it up by its teeth with a clasp around the dagger, and then just stab it rapidly over and over again in the belly with the other sword, and then it just evaporates into ash and blows away on the wind. They are defeated.
4 down. Well, 6 down. Then to go.
And you can make your way safely the rest of the way across the bridge. Yes, the rest of the path is a somewhat slippery, icy ramp rising steeply, so you take it slow and careful and get your breath back after the fight. Right. Alain's at the front, isn't he?
Yes.
Can you... Well, what's your perception?
My perception is 7.
Okay. Right. So you're about to make some decent headway up this ramp, or when you look up and make sure of the way. So the road ends in a ramp that leads up to the main gateway, but above the ramp, sort of set into a slot and a wooden, almost a shelf in the wall, are a bunch of heavy stone balls, and you can see a few dark shapes moving around behind them.
I'm going to hold my hand up to signal to people
Everybody went silent, and then I realized my internet rebooted. Wow, man, it got quiet in here, and then I looked, and everybody was like frozen in time. Well, then.
Yeah, I hold my hand up to sort of signal to everyone to stop, and then sort of like maybe nod towards the direction, trying to sort of like point it out, but not be too obvious about it.
Okay. So what you've got... So what we've got is this pathway, like a driveway almost, leading up to the castle. But before it gets completely to the castle, it turns into a much better maintained ramp. But directly above this ramp that leads to the gate, there's like a shelf in the side of the castle with about a dozen heavy stone balls sort of set up in it. And there are shadowy figures behind that moving back and forth.
How many of them are there, Jim?
You can't be sure. You've not seen more than 3 shadows at a time.
So basically, we've got balls like on shelves, so it looks like it looked like if you're going to go through the middle, these balls could be shoved and sort of like pushed down.
Yeah, Indiana Jones style, but smaller.
Yeah. But rather than sort of like vertical, it's the horizontal. Yeah.
Yeah, like a log roll trap. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say yeah. I look at Sully and say quietly, "You want me to scoot up ahead?"
We are absolutely certain that we are coming here with violent intent, correct?
Well, if you want me to scoot up ahead, I can get a quick surveillance and then come back just sweetly. It's up to you.
Perhaps we can at least draw their attention towards us to allow you to sneak around easily.
Yeah, you can try and help him.
Yep.
How are you going to draw their attention?
I am going
Be mad.
seize my sword and shield and draw my bow.
Okay.
I'm going to look for their attention. 20.
Okay, you have you have virtually no chance of hitting them from this distance. You'll have to roll a 1, but it should draw their attention.
Yeah.
So make a roll on the off chance.
1 second.
This is when he gets a 1.
It'd be really good if I did. No,
like-
19.
Okay. Remember that you've lost an arrow. But yeah, you knock an arrow, pull back as far as you can, and then lob it over. It hits the wall a couple of feet clear of the sort of arrow slits and the doors around the shelf that they've been looking through. But you think it will have drawn their attention. So, sorry, what was Caesora's stealth?
23.
Okay, with their attention drawn, Caesora sort of slaps a bunch of snow over himself and creeps up the side of the path as best he can, sort of keeping to the snow, keeping in the darker areas where he looks a bit more like a shadow, and gets up to the castle wall. There's big metal gates set into the side of it, and then a couple of stories up, there's this shelf of stone balls.
Does it look like there's any other way in bar the doorway?
This seems to be the only way from this side of the mountain. Yeah, it's built to be defensible and to channel enemies.
Is there any way to climb up, or is it all smooth?
It's extremely smooth. You might be able to climb up. Let me just find out for you. It would. You'd need a reflexes of 20 to be able to climb it. Otherwise, you're going to have to make a reflexes check. So you'd have to make a reflexes check a couple of times to climb up the wall to the level of the balls.
I've got a reflex of 16. So.
And you've got the climbing gear, which increases your effective reflexes by +1, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would give you 17. So you'd have a 15% chance of falling each time.
Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do it discreetly and quietly as a fucking mouse in a fucking church.
Okay. So roll d20. Tell me what you get.
5.
Okay. All right. You start edging your way up the wall using the tiger claws. There's not a lot to get purchase on here, but you thank your lucky stars that whoever's been tending the castle hasn't been keeping it entirely up to scratch, because there are gaps in these great big smooth stones. Make another roll to carry on.
7.
Okay, you're up at the same level as these stone balls. So what you've got is what is it? It's
how many balls are there?
I'm just that's what I'm trying to find out. Oh, okay. There's a dozen of them, all set along this. They're about twice the size of a bowling ball, and they're all set along this kind of big wooden tray shelf type affair that runs completely the length of the ramp, and it seems to be connected by some kind of chain mechanism to something inside. Now, they're very narrow slit windows. There's a couple of vertical arrow slits and a horizontal arrow slit. But through that, you can see sort of men-at-arms in sort of simple chainmail and sort of tin helmet sort of affairs. One of them standing by a big lever.
Is it any way through the window? Is the window big enough for me to squeeze through?
It's far too narrow.
Right.
You could fit your arm through, but that's about it.
Yeah, but how far away isn't? So there's basically, it looks like one of these what do you call them? These toys which have basically got balls and you sort of
Newton's cradle.
Yeah, that's the one.
You could set the trap off so it drops the balls when everyone's not on the ramp, and then they just kind of roll uselessly into the chasm.
But that would grab attention, wouldn't it?
It would, but they seem to already know that you're there. Not you specifically in this moment, but that there are adventurers there.
Okay. How far away is the lever from where I am?
It's the opposite side, so you'd need to make another climb roll to get across.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Or you could just break the chain on the outside, and that should set it off.
What's more chance of success, the lever or the chain?
Well, you'd literally be chancing your arm if you put it through to the lever, and then all you could really do would be to pull the lever anyway. So
the chain's the best option.
Chain's probably the best option.
I'll do the chain one then.
Okay. Make another climb roll.
Ooh, this is going to tickle. 8.
Okay. Yeah, you managed to hold on with one arm and use your short sword to work the chain until it snaps. The whole sort of tray affair falls down. All of these heavy stone balls drop, roll thunderously down the ramp, and then disappear into the chasm. Make one more climb roll to get down safely.
3.
Okay, the way is now clear for you all to get up to the gate.
When the trap is triggered early, I just sort of yell out, let's move up.
Okay,
Rush up.
right. You will charge up to the top. Right, so there's these heavy steel gates in front of you. You can see through the bars into the interior area. But there's not much to be seen within. There just seems to be a chamber inside with a second gateway that leads further into the castle interior proper. The two shorter towers are on either side of you, and this gateway is right up against one of them.
The castle, does it look fairly well maintained?
It's kept up, but not in the best way. How to describe it? It's like someone's done a half-assed job. Like they've done it, but not well. So like the gate that you're looking at, right? It's been oiled and blacked and polished on the main parts of the gate, but the fiddly details it hasn't been. So it's rusted a bit where the cross pieces of the bars are, yeah, and things like that. And then you look outside at the stone. The stone's very well crafted, but the mortar's starting to come away between the large smooth slabs, and it hasn't really been properly taken care of. And where it has, it's very slapdash.
Take an age to break down this gate. Perhaps there is a better entrance on the wall.
Pardon me. It looks like the way the rocks are, the way the mountain falls away, it would be pretty perilous to climb around and try and find another entrance. I mean, you could. It's just, I'm telling you, it's pretty dodgy.
Cesara, what are you up to?
6 foot 2 as usual. I'm back on terra firma, waiting for further actions, orders.
So I've just seen you climb down this wall to us, and
Spider-Man.
No, Cesara.
perhaps you could scout this wall and find a mechanism that raises this portcullis.
No problem, Kimasabi. Does it mean going back up, Jim?
Find this wall again.
Okay. Make 3 climb rolls to get to the top.
Just in case, I'm gonna like take my cloak off and sort of like
Stretch it out between you and Becca in case he falls.
The wall in case he
Yeah.
doesn't catch him.
Okay. So Suzora needs to make 3 climb rolls.
First reflexes roll 4.
Mm-hmm.
Second one 6.
Mm-hmm.
And third one 5.
Okay, so you squirrel your way up and over the side onto the top of the wall. So yeah, this is a viewing area that runs between the 2 towers, either side, with crenellations. Those guards you saw must be in the floor below you, but there doesn't seem to be any way from here necessarily to get directly down into there. There are archways into each small tower, either side here, or the top of the roof here continues across to the other side and then seems to overlook the castle square, the interior.
So I'm guessing that the lever for the support colours will be below me, correct?
Almost certainly. But there isn't any directly visible way to get to lower, at least not from here.
Is it so there's no trapdoor or anything?
No. There's archways into the towers either side, which might have ways down and then into that area. Or there's the castle courtyard on the opposite side of this roof section you're on.
Which is the more sneaky way?
You'll be more exposed if you go through the courtyard, because you'd be visible from all sides, so the tower's probably the best option.
Sticking to the shadows, I'll go the tower way then.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, you slip through the archway into the tower. The tower seems to have been split into 2 large, almost cuboid chambers. The one that you're in and the one below. This room just seems to be dusty, full of rusty, antique armour, just sort of piled up into corners and left in disrepair.
Neglected.
Yeah. There's a spiral staircase going down and up.
Well, down. I think down would be the best way to get this lever. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So you creep down, slow and careful. What's your stealth?
23.
23. Okay. You make your way down around the spiral staircase. It's a very narrow one. It would only admit sort of one man in full armor. And you brush through a bunch of cobwebs and then come out into the lower chamber, which is absolutely festooned from every corner to every other corner in webbing. There's a few suits of rusted armor with emaciated corpses hanging here and there in the webs. There's almost no light in here, but what little light there is glints on a multitude of eyes which turn to look at you.
How many sets of eyes are we talking about?
Well, there's 8 eyes over there and 8 eyes over there, so 16 cyclopses.
That's a lot of cyclops.
Or 2 giant spiders.
Yes.
Do I see the lever?
Not here, no, but there is an archway that should lead out into the area where the portcullis is.
Right. Judging by this, it looks like a spider's lair because there's like spider webs and all that of it. Is it any way stealthily to go from one end of the room to the other without setting off the so-called alarms within the webbing?
So you sort of stand there and you ponder that for a little while, and they both start skittering and climbing down the webs towards you. One of them already spotted you, and now the other one seems to be alert as well. You're gonna have to fight.
I'll go in my same combat stance as before.
Okay. Do you want to wait for them to reach you, or do you want to move to the attack?
How far away are they from me?
They'll reach you at the end of this turn.
This is out of visual, right?
Yeah.
I'll-
You've got no idea
I'll-
this is going on.
I'll stand my ground. Stand my ground.
Okay. So you wait to receive them. Right. One of them drops down on a thick rope of webbing from the ceiling to sort of dangle down at one side of you. The other one runs and skitters across the thick sheets of webbing that run all over this room and gets ready to pounce at you. But you're faster. What do you want to do?
Stab with one, parry with the other.
Okay, and which one of the spiders do you want to stab?
The one which is coming for me.
They're both coming for you.
Which is closest?
The one that's dropped down on a thread beside you is probably the closest one.
Go for that one then.
Okay. So you twist and stab where its thorax joins its abdomen. Its
Sounds right.
defense is
Oh,
2.
this is going to hurt. So that'll be 15 or below. Here we go. 3.
Okay. Your sword will go straight through its armor. So roll damage.
7.
7. Okay. So it comes rushing down on its thread to your side. You feel the brush of air in the dark turn and stab and drive the point of your blade into its belly. You hear it sort of shriek and chitter, but it doesn't seem to be done for. It reaches for you with its spindly legs, while the other one pounces from the other direction. How do you want to divide your defense?
5 on the one which is more hostile and 4 on the other.
Okay, 5 and 4.
I think my defense is more than that, Jim, because the thing is I've only got the basic character sheet, but I do know the basics, but I don't know what my attack and my defense is. That's why I'm just taking potluck, because
You're as an assassin type, your attack goes up a lot more often than your defense. But let me just have a quick look for you. Your defense is 10 plus the bonus for the sword, so that would be 13 plus 2 for the two weapon style. So that would be 15 defense.
8
Normally.
on one, 7 on the other. 8 on one, 7 on the other.
8 and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the one next to you, as you stab it, you draw your sword back, and it closes its sharp, pointy legs around you, and sinks its fangs into your thigh. What's your armor rating?
Armor factor 2. And it's the ball Draco arm I'm wearing as well.
Yeah. Take 4 wounds.
Right?
What's your current health?
Full.
How much?
14. Full. Well, it should be 15 because I'm rank 5 now, so it'd be 15, I think.
Yes, it should be 15, and you've taken 4, so you've got 11. Okay. Right, and then the one behind you pounces, so you're kind of being embraced from both sides in spider legs.
Spit roasted.
And
So being spit roasted.
yes, and being bitten. So take another 3 wounds. But the poison doesn't seem to be having any effect on you, but you can feel numbingness spreading through your thigh and across your back where it bit you in the shoulder. Your turn.
Yeah. Sorry?
Your turn.
I'm going to do the same as what I did before. Attack with one, parry with the other.
Yep. And you want to go for the hanging one still that you've already wounded, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. So take 2 away from your attack and roll.
3.
You've got an attack of 18, so plus 3 for the sword, 21, minus 2. So no, yeah, you'd only miss on a 20. Okay, roll damage.
7.
Right. So you yank your blade out sideways, cutting deeper into the internals of the spider, slash across its web so it drops on its back to the floor, and then stab down to finish it off, leaving just the one. Right. That spider continues to attack you. You can give it your full defense.
Which is 10, I believe.
10 plus 3 plus 2, so 15.
15, yeah.
Yeah, you now that you've got one dealt with, it's much easier to deal with the other one, even with all its different limbs and spindliness and everything. You're managing to ward it off. And you'll go.
As far as I know, this is the only spider in the room. Yep.
Yep.
Full thrust. Both basically going to kebab it.
So full on
Wait.
attack. So you lose defense next turn if you don't finish it off, but you get to make 2 attacks.
Yep.
So your attack is 18. Yeah, don't roll a 20 twice.
Sorry?
Don't roll a 20 and roll twice.
Here goes nothing. 4 and 6.
Okay, and roll damage for the first sword.
7.
And for the second sword.
5.
Right, yeah, you just go for it, full on, charge into the thing. It tries to scramble back away from you, sort of confused at its prey fighting back. And you lop off its 2 forelegs so it can't defend its face, and then drive your offhand blade through one of its eyes.
Ooh, that's going to hurt.
Yeah. You still feel a bit numb, and you can feel hot blood running down your leg, but you sort of stagger over to the archway and out the door, and pull the lever to open the gates, admitting everyone else.
After I pull the lever, I will run into my pack and test the special out.
So you're necking one of the herbal potions, yeah?
I gave one of the herbal potions to each one of us,
Yeah.
and I'm drinking my one.
Okay, you regain 5 health.
So I'm back to full health then.
Yeah. Yeah, the wound closes up, and a warmth suffuses you, and the poison fades.
So,
While we're waiting, is there no sentries or any archers? I feel quite exposed here. And
Yeah, nobody's taking pot shots at you. You think because you're right up against the wall, they can't get an angle to shoot at you, or they might just not be very competent.
well, I mean, there's been no alarm raised or anything, or
You haven't heard a bell tolling or anything, no.
yeah.
this is bizarre, isn't it? It's where's the guards? Where's the sentries? 'Cause, I mean, we've not been subtle, have we? I mean, especially when we release them stone balls.
They are hideous beast monsters. They probably have minds of animals as well.
Let's hope so.
I'd sort of clap Cesora on the back and say, "Good job, Cesora."
Oh, by the way, these test tubes, they are healing potions. Very good stuff. No, smile.
Yeah,
With your binge, sorry.
he's a bit bloodstained.
With your binge, you have a tea break. We're waiting for you.
Spiders. Mostly spiders. How big were they, Jin? About human size?
Yeah, they're about human size.
Big spiders. Big spiders.
Okay, so now you're in the interior here. It's pretty dark. The only light coming in is really the light coming in from behind you, and a little bit of feeble light from the spider tower. So there's a doorway through to the spider tower. There's a doorway on the opposite side of this long room into the other short tower at the front of the castle. And there's a larger gateway, similar in size to the entrance gateway, but hanging partially open, that leads onwards towards the courtyard.
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching off to hell. Oh.
So, Cesaro, did you clear that tower? Is there anything else in there?
As far as I know, there was only 2 spiders. I killed them both.
We little spiders? Oh, such a man.
I tell you what, you deal with the next load of spiders then. I tell you, they're human sized. They're like big fuckers.
What about the sentries?
As far as I know, there was no sentries. As far as I remember, Jim.
No, you didn't see anybody else. You didn't go up to the very top of the tower, but you haven't seen any sentries.
As far as I saw, there was no sentries. So we're quite clear.
The stone balls.
Well, they've gone. They've long gone. They went down the chasm. Did you not see them fall down?
No.
Did the balls go down the chasm, Jim?
They did indeed.
Yep.
Oh, no, not the balls. The people that were going to drop them on our head.
No, he didn't see them.
I didn't see any sentries. There was no sentries.
When you climbed up there and... oh, okay.
I climbed up there, and first time I went up, I hacked the chain down, and the balls went down the chasm. And when I was up there, I saw no sentries. When I went up a second time, I bumped into 2 spiders, large spiders. They were very hungry. Managed to trap them both, and there was no other sentries. And I came back down and I came up with you guys.
Huh.
So the stone balls were unmanned the whole time.
Or they're
Quite-
higher up than he went.
Quite possibly, but then again, if they were quite high, if they were higher up, I would have seen like their heads on the battlements, wouldn't I, Jim?
Yep.
Yeah, I would have seen movement, but there was no sign of any movement. Now, unless this Duke is expecting us, as every criminal mastermind does, and his war parties out raping and pillaging and plundering the land, we've already taken 2 of them down, hopefully.
You said there are men of arms, sort of like waiting, and one by a lever.
Yep.
There were people.
But not visible anywhere that Cesura went.
Can we go outside and see if they're still there?
Yeah, after all, they can't drop any balls on you. Yeah, you can. You can still see these 2 figures moving about, or at least their shadows. They seem to be sort of human-sized, occasionally eclipsing one of the arrow slits or the horizontal slit.
Let's find a way up there.
It could be in a secret area with secret doors.
This is true. What's a castle without secret doors?
Indeed.
Barely a fort.
Werewolves.
Werewolves.
No, werewolves.
Every full moon he turns into a slate wall. Yeah.
We should go.
There'll be werewolves in this keep. Werewolves.
Werewolves.
That's what I said, werewolves. I've got a speaking impediment. Leave me alone.
So, what do you want to do?
Do you want me to sneak back up and see if there's any sign of life?
You don't need to
They're
climb.
still there.
Together.
Well, I can go back up the stairwell where I went, where the spiders were, and past up them and then up a bit more if you want.
Let's all go together.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's
we're
go.
inside now, so I mean, there's no defense, is there really? I mean, there's no guards, there's no alarm.
Doesn't seem to be anything, at least not as far as you've penetrated thus far.
What's our aim? What, to find the Duke and kill him? Is that our aim?
Yeah.
Or the crystal, isn't it?
Our main goal is to make this Duke suffer for what he's done to this land twicefold or even more. We're going to make him repent for what he's done.
Right, so if you were a Duke, where would you be?
In the hall, sitting on my chair, drinking with a fair maiden on my lap, waiting for whoever's going to come and kill me.
Let's try the hall, shall we?
Sorry?
Okay.
Yeah, let's try the Great Hall.
So you're not sure where it is exactly, but so where do you want to go? Do you want to go across to the other tower, into the spider tower, or through the larger gateway?
I am going to go towards the tower, which has got like the skylight, like a skylight on its roof.
There wasn't one?
I thought there was like a tower, like had a greenhouse, like
No,
like
no.
glass.
On top of the sort of bar between the two front towers, the roof goes back quite a ways and then overlooks the courtyard, but it's just open.
Well, sticking to the shadows, I'm going to go to what looks like the main part, the main shindig of the castle. So that would be like the inner keep.
Well, that would be probably either the east or west wing of the castle. So, if you go on that reckoning, you'll want to go through the other tower to get where you want to go. Because going
But
across,
that's,
because going in the courtyard's going to expose you on all sides, which probably isn't a
that's
great
what
idea.
I'll do the latter.
Okay, is everyone agreed with that? Is it all right with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so Cesora scats ahead and goes through into the next tower. Give me a second. Okay. Behind the doorway is a very narrow hallway that just kind of goes slightly to the right and then has a small door to the left.
Okay. Stealthily walk up to the door.
Okay, 1 second here.
Step into the shadows.
Oh, sorry, it's just straight. It's not bent. Okay. There's a double archway. Beyond the second arch, you don't think you've actually gotten into the tower yet, but beyond the second arch you can see the courtyard beyond, which is where you don't really necessarily want to be. There doesn't seem to be anywhere on this level that would give you admittance to the tower.
Okay.
So how do you want to proceed?
So there's only one way, the two ways, the way we came in and the way we can go out. Yeah.
Yeah. At least on this level.
Sticking to the shadow. Sorry, you go, Jim.
You think, if you remember correctly, that on the second level of the tower, which was the same level as the roof, there is an archway into the other tower up there.
Sticking to the shadows, head that way.
Okay. All right, so Zora explains the situation and creeps back the other way. Right, single file, you climb up the spiral staircase onto the second level. It's very dark in here. What little light there is just comes through the arrow slits, but maybe lighting a lantern isn't the best idea. But you can emerge from an archway there into the light and the wind, and there's another archway opposite, or this broad flat roof crenellated on both sides. The other way will give you a view of the courtyard.
Take the latter.
So you want to go and take a view of the courtyard?
Have a quick med.
Yeah. The rest of you as well, or just Cesora?
Well, yeah, I suppose if I'm following,
Let's keep together, yeah.
To put my head out to look out onto the roof.
Okay.
So I guess I'm gonna see Cesora in a bit.
Okay. Right. Who's got the lowest stealth out of all of you?
That's me, probably, isn't it?
Probably
15.
15 stealth. Okay. Roll d20. Tell me what you get.
Six.
Okay. So you all creep up behind the crenellations and take a look out over the courtyard. Right. So it's a big courtyard overgrown, not very well maintained, same sort of slapdash approach as everything else. There's a grand well in the centre of the courtyard. There's steps leading up to a grand door on the opposite side of the courtyard. Either side of the steps are a pair of small, squat-looking gargoyles, sort of sat there with shit-eating grins on their faces. And on the other parts of the roof, overlooking this courtyard, there are shambling a group of men-at-arms with swords at their belts, and they're holding bows, and they have quivers full of arrows hung at their sides. And they're just sort of shambling back and forth, looking out one side, then coming back over and looking over the courtyard and shambling back.
Shambling, like undead shambling?
Yeah, dragging their feet, Romero style.
1 step, 2 step, shuffle. 1 step, 2 step, shuffle.
Drag. But they don't seem to have seen you.
How many are there? Just the 2?
8.
Fucking hell.
4 on either side of the courtyard.
This guy's paranoid.
So if we'd have walked out in the courtyard, would have been peppered.
Yeah, you don't fancy zombie marksmanship very much, but they'd be likely to hit you at least at some point.
I do not care to get in a fight with such odds.
You think those guardians are stone as well?
If they're
Quite possible.
If they're anything like the dogs.
Yep.
But should we neutralise these threats? Should we take on 4 at once, all together?
Well, I could hit them with a wind and try to hit them all and to do some damage to kind of help weed them. Or we could put up if they're undead, I could try to put an undead sphere up to hold them back.
I tell you what, you cast the undead spear up. If we charge them and you chuck this in front of us, basically they'll come into the field and we can get into them. If it makes sense, does it make sense to anyone?
Yeah.
So it'd be like a sandwich.
It would be cast centered on me and roughly 6 feet around me. So
there's 4 on each side. Both towers have exits, it looks like, that would take you onto the same levels as them. But if you take one side, you're going to be attacked from the other side with arrows. If you take the other side, you're going to be attacked from the other side with arrows. And you haven't actually been into the southwestern tower at all yet, so you don't know what's in there.
Right, do you want to do the southwestern tower before we face these lot?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Right. So yeah, you move across into the tower.
I have an interesting proposition.
What's that?
If we do decide to attack them, I would try and cast an illusion on one of them to look like a human, and see if they all pepper that one, and then slowly move the human among each one of them, and see if they'll attack each other.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting. My money's on that. Yeah.
What's Caesar's stealth again?
23.
23. All right, so Caesura scouts ahead, up to the archway into this tower, and peeks in. The room here is almost completely empty. There's a spiral wooden staircase replacing a stone one that seems to have collapsed at some point. It goes down and up. You can hear a faint bubbling sound and detect the smell of hot oil emanating from the staircase. There's a closed wooden door. With a table next to it, with a large jar in front of it and several small pots in front of it.
Oh, this is some machinations, isn't it? Where that bloke was that you saw.
Basically, it looks like a lab.
No, it's a murder hole, isn't it?
Always possible.
Don't continue if there's nothing of value here.
Well, there's the staircase up or down. There's a closed wooden door in the north wall, and a closed wooden door in the south wall. Or the archway back onto the roof.
Where would the south wall door take us, roughly? Judging by
into more of this level of the tower.
We're trying to get to the wall on the east side, right?
Western side.
Western side. So it'd make more sense to keep going westward, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the northern door should take you out onto that roof.
Yeah. Let's keep.
Yep.
Okay.
Go that way, sneaky.
Okay, so you open the door just a crack, and looking out, you can see 4 of these shambling men-at-arms milling around with their bows. And then at the far end of that sort of roof section is one of the taller towers at the rear.
Right, I'll turn round and give the 4 signal to say 4 goons. If they can see me, that is.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think we should split up.
So what, half of you take the 4 on the eastern wing, and half of you take the 4 on the western wing?
Sounds about right, yep.
So you're going to want to split your fighters, so Elaine goes one way and Becca goes the other.
Mm-hmm.
How far apart are they?
They're spaced out about one every 2 to 3 meters.
No, I mean the ones on the left, the west, and the
the whole castle isn't much more than 30 meters wide, so
pretty far. Okay, never mind. I was wondering if the wall of Wraith could hit him, but no worry.
Before you head off, I just thought I'd say to Ceridon, perhaps you should use whatever spell you have to take one down. Better odds that way.
Just to take one down?
As many as you can, with at least.
Well, yeah, that was it. I could waste all my spells right now and do that. I was considering maybe using a wraith wall and sending a wall of energy that would hit as many of them as I could. But even that is not going to take them all because they are well too spread. I am looking at perhaps hitting them with. Give me a second while I look this up. And I could perhaps hit 1 or 2 of them with Dragon's Breath and burn them down. But I was thinking also perhaps an illusion that splits them where they only see, only a few of them see you at a time. But I'm not sure that would go very far.
Whatever you think is.
You want me to hit them from down here? How far up are they?
They're about halfway up, so they're only maybe 15, about 10 meters from the entrance to the tower. Once you run out, so you can.
No. I mean, is there a well where they're within 20 meters and can take pot shots at them?
Sorry, you want to stand back 20 meters and take pot shots at them?
Is there a way to do that? And
you could stand.
Perhaps.
You could stay by the door and take pot shots from 10 meters away. That's as far as you.
All right, let's see if we can't do that. Is there a way I could maybe cast or do the dragon fire and then kind of duck where they can't all fire at me at once?
Yeah. You're going to get a surprise action on them anyway. So
let's see how. Let's see if the first one drops. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Okay, so who's taking the west wing and who's taking the east wing? So, what, Alain and Cizora and Becca and Keradan?
Yeah.
Okay. How are you going to make it so that you all charge at the same time? Like a 100 Mississippis?
When you see the flames.
Okay.
When you see fire, go.
Right. And go. Right. So, Alain.
Well, the flyer would go off first, right?
Well, it's a surprise turn, so I guess you can do your fire first, yeah.
So speed 12.
Yeah. So just roll 1 to 12 to hit.
And wait. It's speed 12. Doesn't it auto hit?
No. It can't evade, but at least not consciously, which means it doesn't take its evasion away from the speed. So you just roll 1 to 12 to hit.
Yeah, so let's see. Or is that a magic attack?
No, it's an evasion thing.
Oh, I'm confused. Okay. I don't remember ever rolling before. All right. So I rolled an 11. That hits.
Okay, so that's a hit damage.
All right, and that will be 11 damage.
Okay, so yeah, you duck out of the door, belch a gout of flame onto the nearest one of these men-at-arms. He goes up on fire and is burning. He just sort of slowly turns to stare at you with blank eyes, with flames licking up around him. And that's the signal for everyone else. So, Elaine.
Yes. I'll run out and
Clout one.
First one I come across.
Okay, its defense is 1.
Yes, hit easily.
Okay, damage.
7 damage.
7 damage.
10 total.
Okay, so sorry, 10 total.
Yes.
Right, so you hurtle up and smash your blade against it so hard it sort of fractures through the rusting chainmail that it's wearing. But it's almost like hacking into a tree. The flesh is dead and preserved, leathery. So your sword cuts into it and it starts to leak dust and straw, but it's still upright.
You.
Cizora.
Papa's the one who's flaming on flames.
That's on the opposite side of the castle.
Right.
So you're on the same side as Elaine.
Yeah, I'll go for the one I tapped.
Okay. Its defense is none because it's already defended against Elaine. So roll into your attack.
2.
Okay, and roll damage because that's going to go clean through its armor.
Yep. That would be 7.
Right.
Oh, that was a weird sound.
Right, it's kind of tangled with Elaine with his sword kind of stuck in it. He's got his boot up against it, trying to yank his sword back out. And you come up behind the creature, the zombie, and slide your dagger up through the soft part underneath its jaw and up through its brain. And it's killed.
Whatever brain it had.
Yes, whatever brain it had.
Really had a brain.
Right. Becca's go.
Okay, I should charge out and hack away at one
Okay.
that's not on fire.
Yep.
Fresh one.
Yeah, defense 1.
Oh, there's a 17. I mean, it's probably a miss. What's the defense?
Defense is 1.
Oh, that's a hit.
Okay. And damage?
9 hits.
Right. So you go for one of your trademarked cross strikes across the body. It bites about halfway through it before getting tangled up in threads and straw and leathery skin, and you have to yank it out again, but its arm is sort of half hanging off. Right, new turn. Elaine.
Now that it's off my sword, I'm charging forwards and sort of drag my sword into the next one I see.
Okay, so you hurtle up to the next one. Defense is 1, so...
Yep.
Damage?
Whoa, that was high. What's it called? 11 total.
Okay. Right. So you pull your sword free of that one, move up to the next one, hack its leg off at the shin, and then lop its head off on the counter swing. Leaving 2. Caesura.
How far is Flaming Joe?
Still over the entire other side of the castle.
Right, I'm going to charge at him.
It's not on your side. There is still one zombie on your side.
Okay, I'll go for the one on my side.
Okay. Right. Sorry, there's still 2 on your side. My mistake. Right, so you move up to the next one past Elaine, sort of leapfrogging from zombie to zombie. Make your attack roll.
4.
And damage.
7.
Okay. Right, you slash at it a couple of times, tearing through parts of its armor, releasing the straps and exposing the dead preserved flesh beneath. It's leaking sawdust, but it's not dead yet.
Does it look like the same work which was done on the priests back at the monastery?
Yes, very similar. Right, Becca.
Okay, I should try to finish off the one that I wounded.
Yeah.
Six. That's a hit.
Damage.
Or max 13 hits.
Nice. Okay, so you back away from him. Do a swing down, lopping off one arm, and then up and across, cutting it the other way. A sort of triangle section out of the one side of its body falls out from the rest, and then the rest collapses in on itself. The one that's on fire just stops moving and slowly drops to its knees and forward onto its face. So you've got 2 left over here. Keradon.
All right, so the flaming one's dead, right?
Yep, and Becca's dispatched another one.
All right, then I will... Have the zombies had a chance to move? They haven't had a chance to
No, they haven't had a chance to move yet.
So I will shoot one more with another flame.
Okay.
Count.
So,
Whoop.
roll to hit.
I rolled a 1! Yeah,
Nice.
baby!
Maximum damage for the magical effect.
All right, so
No,
that's
sorry, it's roll twice. It's double damage.
Oh. So add the +6 twice?
Yep.
Ooh, that's a 5 and that's a 6. So that's 23.
23 damage.
No dice.
Okay.
The sawdust catches on fire.
Yeah. You breathe in deep and then howl a gout of flame into this next zombie, and it's just burnt away. You see it melting away and turning to ash before the flame, and there's nothing left except a pair of smouldering boots. Right.
Well, then.
The zombie closest to Caesura on that side of the castle drops his bow and draws his sword. The other one fires his bow at Caesura and misses. On the other side of the tower, the one remaining zombie fires his bow at Becca and hits. What's Becca's armor?
5.
It penetrates the armor,
doing
3 wounds of damage.
Dear, oh dear.
Right. So a filthy, crudely made arrow smacks into the meaty front of your thigh and sticks there about 3 inches deep.
Ouch.
New turn. Elaine,
Yes.
you'll go.
Keep running forwards.
Okay, so you move up to the next zombie, who is trying to draw his sword.
I'm going to attack.
Go for it.
I hit. And Jesus Christ, I'm just rolling really high. 9 damage total.
9 damage. Okay. Right, so you charge up to it, moving up to the next one as it tries to draw its sword. You hack its arm off at the elbow so it can't draw its sword, and then backswing across its throat. Its head slowly tips back and then snaps off the skin. It's down. Cesora.
I'm going for the one which is charging me.
The one left is the one with the bow.
Yep.
Yep, go for it.
Defensive one, I presume.
Yep.
I got a 3.
Okay, roll damage.
And that will be 8.
Okay. Right, this one's a bit hulkier and huskier than the other ones, but you move sort of within the range of its bow and stab it several times in the gut and chest. It sort of folds forward slightly in on itself, but it's still in fighting spirit. Becca.
All right, I'm not impressed about being shot.
Mm-hmm.
I should try and decapitate this last zombie.
Go for it. So
Irksome creature.
Defense 1.
13 as a hit.
Yep. Damage.
Oh, max again. 13.
13. Okay. So you charge up and cleave it about halfway through, sort of knocking it across into the side crenellations on the end of your sword, and it's trying to pull itself up the sword to get to you. So it's still alive, but just barely. Kerridan.
All right, so there's only one left on my side?
Yep. And Becca's got it impaled.
Yeah, I'll charge forward drawing my sword, but since he's on it, I'm not going to shoot any flames.
Okay.
Do I make it up to it, or is it too far away?
Drawing your sword and getting up to it, that's as far as you can go. Okay.
That's good.
Cesora, what's your defense? It's really high, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's 10.
Because it's +3 for the sword and +2 for the defensive sword. Right. The zombie that you're stabbing just drops its bow and reaches for you to try and grab you, but it's way too slow, and you just kind of dance around it, stabbing it over and over and over.
Tickle, 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 tickle.
Brains, this not fair. Stand still.
Fuck you.
The zombie on the other side hauls itself along Becca's sword to try and attack her. What's Becca's defense?
14.
Okay, it can't get to you. There's a cross spur on your sword, and it gets stuck at that point about halfway up the sword. Right, Elaine, finish him.
Yeah, I'm going to bring my sword down on top of its outstretched arms.
Okay. Roll to hit at -1.
This is where I miss spectacularly, because I did something cool. And I don't. It's very unlikely.
And damage?
9 again. So, 9 total.
Okay. You cleave off its arms, and they just sort of drop and hang off Cesora, who is then able to step inside its grip and finish it off with a blow up under the chin into the brain again. So that's all of them on your side dealt with. And then on the other side, Becca, you have a zombie on your sword.
Yes, I just kick it off, really, and try and kick it over the wall.
Go for it. Attack.
Oh, that's cocked. 12.
Okay.
So
what's your strength?
15.
Okay, roll a d20 and tell me what you get.
Oh, 8 minus 7. Oh, no, it's
Okay.
crashed again.
Who has? What has? Jack? Or...
No, Google
Oh,
Hangouts, it just froze.
okay.
I kind of did freeze.
All right. Anyway, yeah. You twist it around on the sword and kick it off the end of it. It tumbles over the crenellations and falls with a crunch into the courtyard beneath, and they are all dealt with.
Oh, bloody shot.
Can I just say one thing, guys?
Go on.
These guards are stitched up the same way as a priest would be in the monastery.
Perhaps
I think we're dealing with. I think we're dealing with someone who has either got a very sick hobby of taxidermy, or something foul that we can handle.
Taxidermy zombies, huh?
Yeah, no. Basically they were live subjects. It's basically stitched them up to make them, and then reanimate them. So either someone's got a sick hobby of taxidermy, or it's someone who is greater at a higher craft.
perhaps that accursed priest. Magic.
No, I'm talking about the Duke. It could be either someone working for the Duke or the Duke's got it as a sick hobby.
Perhaps.
Possibly. He's been up here on his own for quite a while, so he must have picked up a hobby.
Okay, so you now have access to the upper levels all the way around the castle, which means you can get access to the two taller towers on the other side, or you can descend into the halls in the wings on either side.
I'm going to pull this arrow out of my leg.
Ow.
The gargoyles nearby as well, isn't there?
They're down below in the courtyard. You're up above them. You're like 30 feet above them.
Yeah, hate those things.
Do you want to take your potion for the arrow wound?
And now I laugh it off.
Okay. Ha ha ha! Ow! Does it hurt? Only when I laugh.
Stop laughing. We should regroup.
Yep. Which side? The shorter tower or the taller tower?
Let's go to the taller tower.
Okay. So you move through the archway into one of the floors of this tower to get your bearings and recuperate. That's right. This room, when you slide open the door and move in, isn't a particularly restful place to be. It seems to be some sort of shrine or temple to something dark and something horrendous. There's an altar with a bunch of occult sigils around a summoning circle sort of style. It says sigil, really, on the wall. And beneath that is a velvet cloth. And on the cloth is what looks like a horse's skull, covered with green-grey lichen, and snakes are coiling and twisting through the skull's eye sockets and other holes in the bone.
Holy. That's a fact. We should destroy it.
Describe it again? What was it?
So it's a shrine room. There's candles burning. There's no light. All the arrow slit windows have been covered over. On the far side behind the shrine is like a banner with some kind of occult demonic sigil inscribed upon it. As a sorceress, it is the sigil of the demon Rimfax. Below that, there's an altar. On the altar is what looks like a horse's skull covered in grey-green lichen, and there are snakes constantly twisting and writhing and moving in and out of the skull's sockets and gaps.
We need to destroy this. It's demonic, and we should cleanse this place. But I do not necessarily have spells for that.
My sword will make short work of it. And I just draw a holy blade.
Break the skull. We'll throw the pieces over the edge into the ravine.
Yeah, then I guess I'll swing my sword on this thing.
Yeah, smash everything, kill the snakes, yeah, everything.
Okay, so you're swinging your sword at the skull. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second for me, please.
It's gonna be bad. Watch it.
I don't know why. I just don't like it. Seems like a bad idea. But,
Sounds like a bad idea, but let's do it anyway.
Charge.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of cleansing spells. They don't have those kind of things in this game. It looks like, at least not at my level.
No. And your monk is off duty. So, right.
How rude.
Right, so Elaine steps forward and swings down hard with his sword. Roll under your base attack.
Yep, hit.
Okay. Right. It shatters into pieces. It explodes with a flash and a stink of sulfur. It seems to have dealt with it. But as it bursts asunder, bits of broken chain rain down from above you. Cesaro, what do you want to do?
Broken chain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not a holy man, but I did get the cross from that skeleton earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going. Did I see the chain coming?
Only because
from
you steal everything that isn't nailed down.
Sorry?
And he's not a rope though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but basically, just see the chain going to sort of like fall on Sir Lane.
Oh well, yeah. All around the room, these bits of chain fell down.
Oh, okay. I'm going to pray to the god of whoever I do follow, be it the god of murder or the god of bloody assassinations.
The god of the true faith, the martyr.
Yeah, the one true one, the one true matter. And I'm going to pray while holding this cross out and ask to cleanse this room.
Okay. Right. You hold out the cross and you mutter prayers.
Yeah.
Right. The shadows lengthen momentarily, almost like a flash of darkness, and a skinny man in a black robe, the sort of like a vulture turned into a man almost, appears out of that darkness and throws himself across the altar, babbling, "No! No! The relic!"
Someone's been watching the Dark Crystal.
Right.
It's one of the sketches.
No Catholic priest would protect a demonic relic. Explain yourself.
He's just babbling that you've destroyed it and you've ruined everything. From out of the ceiling, festooned in broken chains, a pair of bat-winged, black, leathery-skinned vile-looking, fat little pot-bellied creatures swing down. So, Elaine, how do you want to split your defense between them?
Evenly.
Okay, so what's your defense?
This is 13.
Is that with the bonus for the sword?
No, it's not.
So it's 16, so that's 8 on each. Okay. One of them manages to get in a blow with its feet talons across your face through the guard of your armor. But the talons stop just short of really tearing your flesh. They just sort of graze across because your armor prevents them. Becca.
Well, so I just phased out. So the priest appeared from nowhere, and then
And then these two bat-winged imp-like creatures descended from the roof.
all right. Well, so I'll try to eviscerate the bat-wing imp-like creature.
Okay. Its defense is 10.
Oh dear, that's a 12. 23. Yes, just.
Okay, so you clip it with the tip of your blade.
Because they're difficult to hit, aren't they?
Yeah. Damage?
Straight through armor, yeah.
Yeah, straight through.
8 hits.
Okay. The tip of your blade seems to be enough, probably because it's empowered by Valandar, both the old magic and the faith of people who still think of him. And it just cleaves it clean out the air, turning it into a puff of sulphurous gas, leaving just the one. Caradon.
I am going to let's pull out a shadow bolt and hit one of the flying creatures with it.
Okay. What's the speed on that?
Yeah, I was trying to. Where did my sheet go? I just had it open. Swear to God, I hate it when they disappear like that. Oh, I know where it is.
Shadow bolt, good God. What's the kill us all, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
No, that won't kill y'all.
It's level 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a level 4 spell. It's got a speed.
Yeah, speed 14.
14. There it is. Yep.
Okay, so roll 1 to 10 to hit it.
Below 10. Come on, baby. A 10.
Okay, and roll 2d6 plus 10 damage. Well, no, don't worry. Right.
Oh,
You-
plus
you-
10.
Yeah, you lunge out with your hand and make the appropriate gesture, and the shadow energy coalesces around your hand, flies out and strikes the thing out of the air. Right.
Does it die?
It dies. It's gone. It's blown into sulphurous gas.
Be
Yeah,
gone.
this place
I'll
really
be-
smells of rotten eggs by this point.
That's 4 spell points.
Right. Elaine.
Okay. There we go. Whoa. What happened? Ah!
They're both dead, aren't they?
No, well, they are. The priest is still alive.
Oh, I've got no reason to kill this guy. He's not.
Kill him. He's bad. He's evil.
I just sort of like taking swords out, ready to, skewer him with it, and just explain yourself, foul priest.
Oh, now I remember.
Okay.
It's over here. Ah, I found it.
One second. Okay, Caesura. So Elaine's just called out to this priest to explain himself, but it's your go first. What do you want to do?
Does my prayer seem to be working in any way?
You don't know. I mean, they all seem to have died, so clearly there was some kind of divine intervention.
I am going to. Fuck it, you only live once. Charge the priest.
Okay, so you throw yourself at the priest. Right, his defense is 9. Take that away from your attack and roll.
Okie dokie, give me a sec. Fingers crossed. Here goes nothing. Ooh, 3.
Okay, and roll damage.
Any pluses or anything I should have?
Just the normal stuff for the sword.
So that is 7.
Okay. Right, so you spring forward at the priest, even as Elaine is telling him to fess up, and drive your blade into his back. He shrieks and bleeds all over the altar, mutters some unholy prayer under his breath. Right. He turns away, clutching the stab wound with his left hand. He's pulled open a secret drawer on the altar, and has dragged out a jar, which he's now holding in his right hand, which is covered in scales of black metal, covered in thorns and hooks. And he hurls the jar down onto the ground, where it explodes and sprays out a black smoke or dust that fills the entire room. Roll 3d6 and get under your current health.
Who would that be, me or Jack?
All of you.
Oh, roll
yeah.
under the what?
3d6 under your current health.
9.
4.
4 on a 3d6. Man, that was rolling well.
It's Jack's known for rolling, I think.
That's a 2. That's that's less. No, that's not under my health. 12, 13.
So you failed.
I failed.
Okay. You take 7 wounds of damage from the poison.
Yep, I failed too. I rolled 17.
You take 5 wounds from the poison.
Oh wait a minute. What is my health now? Did my health change?
I don't think it did.
Nope, it's 10. It's 10.
So it's 3 now. Right. The dust settles, and as it does, the priest is very much dead from his own poison. His eyes staring blankly, his mouth rimed with greenish foam. But he is very, very dead.
Ouch.
4, 5, 6.
Next time I'm faced with a priest, I will take the opportunity to strike him down. Is anyone wounded?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna cast level 3 on myself.
No. Use your test tube. Use that. Use that.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
That heals 5 wounds to each of you. Well, Becca's already used hers, hasn't she? No, she didn't. She laughed it off. So,
No.
yeah.
I'll take it now, yeah.
It heals. Yeah, it heals 5 wounds.
Okay.
Right.
I can handle
We're getting close to time, so I'm going to slightly metagame and tell you that the Duke is at the top of this tower.
You search the tower over and end. And you go to the last room that you had to check.
So all you have to do is ascend to find him.
Duke leans over the tower.
I'm up here.
I'm king of the castle. You are dirty rascals.
No shit, Sherlock.
He is obviously in the last room we looked at.
I mean, it was obvious he was going to be in the top of the tallest tower, so, you know, it's not exactly a stunning revelation.
Look at that, right?
Check the room before we go upstairs, Jim. Check. Just give it a final.
So you want to creep ahead while the others tend to their wounds. Right. Your stealth's 23, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Right. You creep up slowly. There's a door. Unlike many of the doors in this place, this is in a reasonable state of repair. You crouch down, you peer through the keyhole. It's not locked, but when you peer through the keyhole, you can see that it seems to be a barracks room of some kind. There are crude beds, little more than pallets and straw. There's like small one-man troughs, and you can smell them even from here. 2 black riders, such as you've encountered before, are in here, squatting behind an overturned table with crossbows levelled at the door. The staircase up to the next level lies behind them.
I'll go back downstairs quietly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say to the others as they're licking a wound what I saw. So we've got 2 more pig guards upstairs.
Crossbows raised at the door. We have to trick them into firing early.
Keldon, dear friend,
Yes.
how long does your illusion last?
Oh. Good question. How long do those things last?
On average, about 3 minutes.
Right.
But if they're attacked, they dissipate.
Yeah.
There's spell expiratory rolls.
Do you have to have line of sight on the illusion?
I believe I have to see where it is, and I have to see where I'm going to put it and move it, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
you could create it at the entrance from lower down on the stairs, but you would have to be in front.
So you couldn't cast an illusion over us to look like we are like guards coming back from guard duty or something?
Not really like that. It's more of an independent illusion.
It's about
Right, so
2 squares.
There's
Yeah,
no
it's
way.
about
Right.
5 foot of 5-6 feet of
Right.
illusion.
The way stand at the side of the door, is there?
Was it any... From the outside,
One of you could maybe squeeze into one side of the door.
Right. From the outside, was there any windows, Jim?
Arrow slits.
Always.
Interesting.
Make an illusion of me at the top of the stairs, and then they'll shoot, and then we can rush them, can't we?
Yeah. So Elaine or Caesura could squeeze in beside the door.
Actually, I have a better idea.
Keradon could lay on the stairs or crouch on the stairs, create the illusion, and then whoever's beside the door could open the door, revealing the illusion.
Yeah.
Are you wishing to get up there where they can't shoot you as you climb the stairs?
They're not in a position to do that anyway. They're across the other side of the room by the staircase that leads up to the next level, so they've blocked your passage. They're hiding behind a table with a pair of crossbows.
Right. This is what I mean. Is they want to get our group wants to get to them.
Yeah, and past them.
I believe there is where's that fog spell? I could swear I saw a fog spell, didn't I?
There's one in a grimoire, but you haven't learned it yet.
Oh.
Have I made any of my Thunderflash, Thundercracker type things, Jim?
You haven't really had time yet.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I thought I'd seen it somewhere, but
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. I'll stand by the side of the door and open it.
Okay, so go in with the illusion plan.
Yeah.
Okay. What is Keradon's magical attack?
Yeah, it's a 20.
Okay. Right, both of them fall for the illusion. So you get that ready. Elaine to the side of the door. You cast the illusion and bring an image of Becca into being out of the ephemera of the spirit world. And then Elaine shoves the door open. So the 2 Black Riders are confronted with the image of barbarianess of the north, Becca Aikukan, standing in the doorway, and of course they can't resist and fire a pair of bolts, which fly through the illusion and shatter against the far wall.
Yeah, as soon as
They've realised their mistake.
Charge!
run through the doorway.
Okay. Well, Elaine's closest, so yeah, he's going to get in first. So what do you want to do? They're inside on the far side of the room, hunkered down behind a turned-over table.
Yeah, I'm gonna run at them before they have time to reload and what's the word?
Stab them?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Their defense is 8, so take 8 away from your attack and roll.
1 second.
Left. Okay.
Good lord.
You called my son?
I don't remember that being the case. Okay. On the 13.
So did you hit?
No, I missed this.
You missed.
Wait. No, I rolled 3d20 because I still had it on. I still had it on 3 from when I rolled the 6s.
Ah. So what was the first one?
I don't know.
So did you miss or hit? Are you re-rolling? What's going on here?
Yeah, the first one was a 13.
Okay, is that a hit with a defense of 8?
Yes.
Okay. Roll to bypass armor.
8.
Okay, and damage.
8 again.
Right, so you hurtle forward and stab over the table, driving down into the shoulder of one of them, caving in part of his chainmail and stabbing deep into the flesh. He squeals like a pig, because he is one. Right. Cesora next, but you're stuck behind Caradon and Becca.
I'll let Becca go first.
Okay. Right, Becca's go. Not the illusory one this time.
Yeah, what to rush in and I'll stab at the other one.
Okay.
Ah!
The defense
Shoot
is
me
8.
now. Oh, I think I've missed this time. Oh, yeah, I've missed with a 17.
Okay, so you misjudge slightly, and on your downward swing, your blade bites into the side of the table before it quite reaches him. Just like thunk, and you can see wild, staring eyes beneath the helmet, looking across at the blade. Like, phew. Right. They move up to stand and strike at you with the butts of their crossbows. What's Elaine's defense?
My defense is 16.
Okay, you swat him aside as he tries to club at you with his improvised club. And Becca's defense?
14.
14. Okay, yeah, you easily ward off their blows. Not a problem at all. Right, Cesora can now move in because he held his action.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
Go charging the one who went for Becca.
Okay. And give him a prime stabbing.
Yep, give them a shish kebab.
Right. His defense is 8.
That would be, my attack is 18 minus 8, so that's 10 or less, yep.
Yep.
3.
And damage? Well, roll to penetrate armor first.
Okay. What do that
That's
be?
That's the first die before the slash.
Yep, that will be 10.
Okay, and damage?
6 plus 1, so that's 7.
7. Okay. Yeah, so while he's thanking his lucky stars for not having been cleaved by the claymore, you come in at the side and drive your blade into his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Caradon.
Is there room to move up and help?
Yes, there is.
All right, then I will move up and using the +2 sword, I will swing. Is there one that looks more wounded?
Yeah, the one that Elaine is fighting looks more wounded.
I will try to hit that one. Oh, and I roll a 2, so...
Okay, their defense is 8.
All right, so I have an 11 sword plus 2 is 13 minus 8 is a 3. Hey, I made it.
Okay, and armor bypass roll.
6.
Yep, and damage.
Damage is 9.
Okay. Yeah, you come up and you drive the point of your blade through the slit in his helmet, and he's very dead. He slumps, blood pouring out from underneath the chin strap. Right, new turn. Elaine, turn on the other one.
Also out of dead guard now and swing it into the.
Okay.
My sword.
Defense 8.
Roll. So 13 or under. Oh, I miss.
Okay. Or you've used up your luck for this session.
Yeah.
Okay. This one in front of you dying so quickly put you a bit off your stroke, and you turn, but it's a bit more crowded with Becca swinging that huge great sword, so you don't find a good way to get in. Caesura.
I'm going to go in with my short sword again. My sword of Vardar.
Yeah. So you come in over the side of the table and roll to hit at minus... no, just a full your full attack, actually, now.
Yep. 3.
And damage?
7.
Okay, you strike him a telling blow, cutting through the chain into the flesh beneath. There's blood pouring out and pooling around his feet, but he's still somehow staying on his feet. Becca's go.
Okay, I'll see if I can finish him off. Well, stab and thrust.
Okay.
Don't want to swing in a confined space. So take someone's head off.
Yeah.
5 as a hit.
And any amount of damage is going to kill him, so... Alright.
Is it armor through? Or...
Yeah, you're straight through. So he tries to ward you off with his crossbow, and you just cleave straight through it and through the top of his helmet and crush the skull beneath. He is done for.
Did you say there was owl slits into this room?
Yes, arrow slit windows.
I could have chucked a smoke grenade in there.
You could have done, didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I never thought that.
Right, so you now have access to the stairs and are able to move up higher.
We got rid of the pawns, got rid of the bishop, got rid of the knights. Now we've got the king's place. Checkmate info.
So, is Caesura sneaking on ahead again?
Yep.
Okay, and your stealth is 23, right?
Yep.
Sorry, I had a phone call come through.
Okay. So you creep up the stairs, up to the next level, peer through the eye hole again. In the room beyond, this is the only room that actually looks kind of well put together here. There are lush drapes, thick carpets, 4 proper windows, though they've also been fitted with iron bars. There's a fire burning in the grate, and you can feel the warmth of the room sort of issuing out around the door as the colder air beyond sucks it out. There are bookcases, tables, nightstands, all the kind of stuff that a noble has in his bedroom. It appears to be such a bedroom.
Any other doors leading out of here?
There do not appear to be any doors, no.
Any bodies?
You can't see the entire room from the angle here, but you're not seeing anybody from what you can see.
Okay. Stealthily go back down the stairs and says the final room, which I think is upstairs. We may have a library, bedchamber, type study type. So this could be the final room, chaps and chapettes. Are you going to go up first there, Sir Lane, and I'll follow you behind, then Becca can follow behind me? Or do you want to go in front of me, Becca?
I don't really know. I'll get shot at again.
Okay, just an idea. So, Selene first, then me, then Becca, then Garrett.
At the back.
Yep.
Okay.
I think I'll use my two-handed sword.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
You ease open the door and move within. There's a 4-poster bed over between the 2 largest windows. There's all these bookshelves. The bookshelves run all the way from the floor to the ceiling. And there's one of those movable ladders on wheels for moving around the side. So it's like a circular bookcase that almost goes around the entire room. There's various tables with bits and pieces and oddments laid out on them. And in the bed, there appears to be a body under the sheets.
Does the sheets look like they're shaking by any chance?
No, they're very slowly rising and falling.
Right. How far away are we from the bed?
You're like, get him before he wakes.
The bed's just on the other side of the room, so 5 meters away, maybe.
So if I was to run up and backstab whatever's in the bed, is it possible?
Yes, you could charge up and do a stab. Yeah.
Right, I'll do that then.
Okay, 1 sec.
You gonna do it stealthy or are you gonna charge?
I'm doing it fucking charging. I'm not gonna block. You just see Ninja can Ninja do. It's a new martial art.
And you find out it's his wife and it's not him.
No, I find it's the actual barkeeper's daughter.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah, she's been keeping.
What's Caesora's defense?
I believe it's a 10.
Okay. Right. You creep up. You're about to drive your dagger into the body when it springs up from the bed and lashes out with a hooked knife towards you. You manage to block it with your one arm and stab your blade into the side of its neck with your other hand. It dissolves into a pile of bubbling goo. And at the same moment that it does so, there is a thump behind you as the Duke drops down from a hidden trapdoor in the ceiling, hurling a bolt of red lightning at Cerridon. What's Cerridon's evasion?
My magical evasion?
No such thing, just your evasion.
Oh, evasion. Sorry. I was thinking magical defense. Sorry. My evasion's only a 3, really.
Okay, hang on.
Is there a way to counterspell?
Your evasion's only 3. Okay.
Yep.
Well, fortunately for you, he missed you.
Fortunately for me, he rolled a 20.
Yeah. The bolt of red lightning flies from his hand and smashes into the 4-poster bed, blowing it into burning fragments. And now into normal actions. Elaine, a bolt of red lightning came from behind you while you were watching Caesora and blew the bed into pieces.
Yeah, turn around and see the Duke.
What you assume to be the Duke is standing there in a suit of black iron spiky armor that is issuing flames from its joints. He holds a black blade in his right hand and a shield in his left, or was holding the shield in his left, but he discarded it in order to cast the magic.
yeah, just yell out and run up and try and swing my sword into the side of him.
Okay, his defense is 7, so take that away from your attack.
Okay. 7. Yeah, 7. And I hit.
Okay, armor bypass roll.
Using a different sword, so here's a D10. I rolled a 4.
So what, sorry?
4.
Okay, your blade rebounds off this infernal plate mail that he's wearing without cutting
This
beneath.
is my voice. Although if you're on a text-only
Why is
device,
my
you'll have
phone
to
going
imagine.
off?
What the hell
Wait,
was that?
Don't know what that was. What did it say? Right. Yeah, so clang.
It thought you asked the question until she was answering it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, Caesura, you're over by this body that you've stabbed in the neck, and it's kind of dissolved into goo around your blade. Over the other side of the room, Elaine is locked in combat with an enormous suit of black iron armor.
Does it have its back turned to me?
No, it has its front turned to you.
Okay. I'm going to willy in for the fort, so I'm going to go in for it.
Okay. Given the tangled up situation you're in, moving over there and being ready to attack will take your whole go.
That's fine.
Okay. But you've moved in at the side of him.
Yep.
Right. The Duke swings his sword down at Elaine, whose defense is...
My defense is...
I have 6 points left.
Hello?
So,
Can you hear me?
sorry, what's your defense?
15.
15. Okay, yeah, you easily duck under the blow. For all the armor that he's wearing and the blade that he's using, he doesn't know his way around a sword.
When it's because this sword says it takes on the most damaging element after the first strike, does that strike technically have to deal damage?
It has to connect. It doesn't have to do damage.
Okay.
But that's the two-handed sword.
Yeah, I'm using two-handed sword.
Okay,
I'm using
well,
the two-handed sword.
All right, you missed anyway. So. Right, Becca's go. Oh no, rebounded, didn't it? So actually, it doesn't change. It stays steel.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Becca's go.
Oh, is there room to get round there?
Yes, you've got Elaine coming from the front, Caesura from the side. There's room on the other side for you.
Right, I charge round there and I'll go low. I'll go for his legs.
Okay.
Sweeping attack.
No defense left to protect against you, so just roll to hit.
15, yes, a hit.
And armor bypass roll.
12. Ouch.
Okay. Clean through the infernal armor and roll damage.
10. Ouch.
Right. So your blade carves into his shins, almost knocking his legs out from under him. Sigils flare all over the armor and then fade, and the armor itself looks weaker after that blow. Right. Keradin.
Don't think the match is gonna be bad. Does anybody look really hurt real quick in our group?
I don't think anyone looks really hurt. I think Becca's still got a little bit of damage.
All right, then I'm just gonna try something fun. Let's. It's gonna sap me with a lot of power, but let's do this. Disease.
Okay.
I have a magic attack of 20. What's his magical defense, please?
His magical defense is 15.
So I have to roll a 5. Oh, and I missed it. Does not work.
Okay. So you mutter the incantations, but his own power.
He is a 15.
Yeah.
Oh.
But his own power is enough to throw it off. Right.
Yep.
Elaine.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of switch my hands, try and get it in from the other side.
Okay. He hasn't used his defense yet this turn, so defense 7 against you.
I hit this time. Wait, no, I hit last time. It's the armor I didn't get.
Yeah. So roll armor bypass.
10.
Right. This time you get through. Roll damage.
4.
4.
Damage total.
Okay. Yeah. So you swing in the sword from the other side, smash into his arm that's holding the sword. The armor cracks and seems to break along some of the iron, though it starts to try and seal back together again. But you think you may have shattered his wrist beneath. Caesura, who is now ready and in place at the side.
I'm going to attack the other side, so it's like he's being spit roasted.
Well, 3 ways.
Yeah.
Triple penetration.
Yep.
Okay, he's got no defense left, so just roll under your attack.
1. Oof, you fucking bastard.
Okay, so that's automatically through armor. Roll damage.
8.
Right. You come in from the side while he's sort of reeling from Elaine's blow and drive your sword up under his armpit through the chain shirt beneath the plate mail.
Yep.
The iron armor falls away piece by piece, revealing an old, sickly, sallow-fleshed looking man in faded robes. He slumps forward onto his knees and then pitches forward onto his face. He is very dead. Proper dead.
He was being kept alive by infernal magics.
Yes.
Infernal armor.
I think in the tradition, I shall behead and display the skull on the end of my sword.
Mm-hmm. Behold.
It's the first
Out
time
the window.
How are you doing? I'm a head on a stick.
Out of the window, you can see a few other undead that were clearly part of his entourage are sort of collapsing and falling apart, and the Black Riders, what's left of them that you haven't already slaughtered, are fleeing en masse.
Karazin, what about your skull friend?
She's back in the village with the monkey boy.
She's on the stick.
She's still on the stick. She's just been keeping stum because you haven't bothered to ask her anything.
Yeah, I know. Right? I only just remembered. Isn't she going to be happy now that this guy's dead?
Oh, right. Was she killed by this guy?
She died sort of fighting his influence, in effect.
She's still there. If you say, "Hey, did this cure you of your problem, or are you still there?"
I'm still here. What problem?
Never mind. I'm not dead. What are you talking about? I'm standing right beside you. I've been here the whole time.
Right. The unnatural weather outside the castle is also starting to fade. Sunlight's starting to poke through the clouds. And
what was in the bed, Jim? What was in the bed?
A doppelganger, which you killed. So.
Yeah, backstab.
So looking into his hiding place up in the attic, that seems to be where he's stuffed his treasure and goods. I'll sort that out for you in downtime. But yes, you have removed the Duke. Up in that attic, you also find the next chunk of the Elven crystal, closed in a black iron box inscribed with many demonic sigils. When you return to the village and unite the two pieces of the crystal, the elven mage Elveron appears in a much steadier and less crackly image, but still flicking and incomplete. And he tells you, you must make haste to Gullet Hollow. I can sense the third crystal fragment is no longer in the land of Erawarn and has been borne onto the sea. The crystal must be reassembled. If the full moon is allowed to shine through the crystal, a gateway will be open to the spirit world, where titanic primordial powers still walk. One of these, Albus, could be used to drive the blight of Rimfax from Erawarn and restore the old wards, making the kingdom whole again. So with your help, we will reunite the crystal and liberate Erawarn.
Yay!
And we shall stop there. I will sort out your experience points and your various bits of treasure and gear. Is there anything in particular anyone wants to focus on in downtime? Darren, I think you said you wanted to try and do Swordmaster if you level.
Yeah. I just want to focus on the.
Focus on the sword.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the one thing really.
Jack, does Elaine want to take anything in any particular direction?
Probably more in defense than.
More defense.
I don't know how levering actually works in this game. But,
well, you get. I'm doing it for you, but basically you get access to skills and things at higher levels and extra training and stuff.
Was it
it's level
expert
8.
parry?
Something like that. Yeah. Does Cesora want to focus on anything? But
Is there anything you could recommend, Doctor?
make some of your alchemical stuff.
Make some of my potions, yeah.
Yeah. And Keradon, do you want to learn any of the spells from the grimoire?
Oh, that's what I was just looking at. So let's see. She's not going to level to 5, right?
No, probably not. Let me check your XP. No, probably not.
All right. And, most of these lower ones she's got.
What were the books?
Well, the ones in the grimoire are ones that you don't automatically get access to for being a sorcerer.
Oh, what's in the grimoire? I'm not sure if I've actually
the grimoire of Mistress Edas and Apprentice Scrimkin. So spells are Helm of Mars, which can increase your armor. Summon Bats, which creates a swarm of bats to attack someone for 1 turn.
I just found it. Yeah, it's down on a little bit.
So the talking skull's still about then, is it?
Yep.
Yep.
I thought that killing the Duke would have put its spirit to rest. Apparently not.
How can I rest when the crystals must be united? Clearly, you still need my help, if you bother to ask for it.
Actually, was looking for rid of you. Don't like demonic artifacts.
So how many spells can she grab? Just one at a time?
Yeah, you can only learn one at a time.
I was thinking something that helps with like area, what do you call it? Crowd control.
Mm-hmm.
So glissade looks interesting.
Yeah, so that creates a 3 meter radius sheet of ice. Yeah.
It's only 3 meter. That's what, 9 feet?
3 meter radius, so 18 feet across.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So yeah, 9 foot radius roughly, close to 10.
And those helms of Mars and those kind of things, are they only on the caster?
No, you can cast those on other people.
Those are by 1, and that one down there is Sword of Mars is that is for the person who casts it. It creates a sword that does critical on every hit or just the first hit?
It creates a gladius, a short sword. You wield it as you would a sword anyway, but the first time you manage to hit, it does a critical and then dissipates.
Yeah, let's do the glissade. That sounds interesting.
Okay.
Some of those spells are interesting.
Right. Well, that's us done then for this evening. Thanks for playing. Next session, theoretically, on Thursday. Usual bat time, usual bat channel. And the next adventure is called Wrecker Island, where you should hopefully find the third part of the crystal. Right. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you soon. Take care.
See ya.
Cheers, bye.